What's up, y'all? It's Antoine Winfield Jr., safety for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
What's up, y'all? This is Jahai Wolf from the New York Giants.
What's good, y'all? This is Sterling Shepard.
This is Justin Tuck. This boy Plexico Bird, Super Bowl 42 world champion.
Chris Godwin from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
What's up? This is Saquon Barkley. Dex Lawrence II.
Yo, this is Mike Evans with the Tampa Bay Bucks.
And we about to go live on Flag on the Play.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, Flag on the Play, episode 89. I'm back here with the guys, and I got some special guests with me. These two guys, especially Mel and Moolis. We go way back, basically like since I first started podding, like in 2021ish, 2022ish. Man, how y'all feeling, bro?
I got work on my intro, clearly.
Hey, man, good, man. You know what I'm saying? Ready to talk some football, dog.
Yeah. Hey, here come Bama with the jersey.
I like it, Bama.
I need to see your jersey collection. I'm gonna need to see your jersey collection. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna need to see your jersey collection because you got.
For sure. We got a lot. Before we start, Trent, I just feel like being messy like my mama right now. Daniel Jones ain't got a welcome to Flag on the Play because you was the biggest Daniel Jones supporter, leader of the book club. Never was trash. You gave 155 reasons of why he wasn't bad. Mm-hmm. Why he not on the intro?
You said why he not on the intro?
Yeah.
I mean, I got mad people on the intro, bro. I could have, but I didn't do a video intro. I just did an interview with him. So I ain't get him to do the intro. I couldn't do it. So that's the only. If I did, he'll be on here. But shit, I couldn't get it.
Okay. I was just always wondering.
Yeah, because more people gonna be added to it. What's the name? It's just
of course.
So that's what I'm saying. So and I can't have the intro too long. You know what I'm saying? So, but before we get to the ruckus, because gotta ask Mel a couple things, because we are hot takes intro over here, because that's just, and Mel got a couple hot takes. Gotta ask him before we do that though. And before we get to that, Donnie, I'm gonna start off with you. Obviously, GP George Pickens got traded to the Cowboys. How we feeling about the trade, and what's the ceiling with the Dallas Cowboys? Now they got George Pickens.
Before I answer that, I just want to I have a question for Bama, Yarn, and Trey, because tomorrow I'm turning 23. Do I officially hit unk status with y'all, or what's up?
No. Not yet.
Whoa,
not yet.
That is crazy.
Hey,
I'm not even unk status yet.
Hold on, wait. You're not there yet. You're not there yet.
I'm gonna just say this now. Boy, you're barely grown.
Yeah.
You still on juice box status.
But you still got like 2-3 years to your brain fully developed.
Even that unk status for real. I'm still at big bro. Like, what you talking about?
Thank you, Trey.
Right.
Thank you, Trey.
Exactly.
Is that that's the coping.
No, but Donnie, how you feel about the trade?
No, about George Pickens though. I mean, it's going to be an interesting combo. Dallas was arguably one of the least explosive offenses over the last few years. They just kind of lack that true deep threat. And CD's great. Obviously, he can do it all, but he's not the guy that you want constantly stretching the field like that. And I think George Pickens is going to slide in and do a good job of that. Does it improve Dallas? Yes, but still have some questions about them, about the run game. I like Jaden Blue, but that's going to be, the guy's going to be getting the most carries this year. I don't know how you feel about that. I'm not the biggest guy on that. The tackle play I'm still worried about. Tyler Guyton was bad last year, horrifically bad, but he has upside, so obviously he could take a jump. Terrence Steele was bad too. And then the defense, they didn't really change much. The secondary is still rough, and they can't stop the run. So, adding Pickens is going to help an already good passing game, and maybe he can take that jump to become, Dak has led some really good offenses in the past. He's led some top 5 passing attacks, top 3 passing attacks in the league, and he could take a jump like that with Pickens, but I don't know. I still view them as probably the 3rd best team in this division behind Philly and the Commanders, so that's just me. But they have an argument with the Commanders, though.
Trey?
I'm going to be honest. I don't care. Cool. You got George Pickens. Yeah, you got George Pickens. Okay, great. Unless George Pickens is going to be sifting through the trash and making tackles for you at the second level, I could give two shits. Unless he's going to be backpedaling and playing center field for you when you decide to play cover 3, I could give two shits. Also, did we forget that this is literally NFL young boy? You decide, let's just roll this back, right? because we already understand that Dallas is a circus. Like we've already heard certain players that have left that organization basically say, hey, this place is ran like a circus. It's closer to college football with all the pageantry and the foolishness going around than it is a sterile NFL like usual environment, right?
Mhm.
Then you decide to drop that crash out into that locker room? Really?
They dealt with Des Bryant, and Des Bryant was
Okay,
crashing out.
but you're also losing you like Zach Martin's not in that locker room anymore. Like,
Brian gonna lie, I hear what you're saying, but they need playmakers. I don't care. It's still a great trade.
Hey, they need playmakers, but George Pickens isn't so damn good that it erases the negatives that he also brings, while also just ignoring the fact that he don't really fill in any of your most needed gaps. Like, if you would have brought in a crash out at linebacker, I would have felt a little better, honestly. Like, if you want to bring in a knucklehead that can really stop the run, like if you would have brought in like some knucklehead ass nose tackle who was out here punching people on a Saturday night and then getting 3 tackles for loss on a Sunday, cool. I'm chilling. What this gonna do? Give you a couple extra touchdowns? Oh, okay, and you still gonna suck. I don't care.
All right. What's his name? Maddie, how you feel about the trade? George Pickens being on.
I mean, it's cool because like you add, in my opinion, like probably one of the 15 best receivers, 12 best receivers in the league.
Okay.
I mean, he's really like almost top 10 if you just stop being a dumbass. But like, we're not going to talk about that too much. Yeah, I don't know how well they're going to utilize him. I just don't trust Brian Schottenheimer. Like, there's not an ounce of me that trusts this guy. This guy's play calling. He's probably going to end up being probably one of the worst play calling head coaches in the league, I would say, behind like maybe Brian Callahan. And
wow, poor Brian Callahan.
Damn, bro, give him the chance, bro.
We've seen this guy as a play caller before. He's not good. Like, maybe Mike McCarthy taught him something. Who knows?
Young man, how you feeling about this trade? Oh, you mad? You done? I ain't want to cut you off, man. Okay. Young, how you feel about the trade?
I like it. I mean, they gave up a third and some late round swaps. I don't know what they're gonna do contract wise, which is, I guess, my kind of holdback because he's gonna want to get paid next year. So if he goes dumb or if he just even makes splash plays with the start, he's gonna want to get paid. You know, and I'm not gonna lie, Jerry might be the idiot to pay him too. I mean, I don't know if it's really gonna change what they're gonna be as a team. Like Donnie and you guys hit it earlier, they have a lot of holes on that team now because some of those rookies come in and make some plays. Maybe, I don't know. I can't speak to it yet, but I mean, all this does, like I told everybody, Dak, he might throw for 5K, like, but they might go 8 and 9. You know, like that's what it could be. But yeah, I'm excited just to see because again, like you said, it's a circus, and now you're adding a prime, the main event to that circus. Like it's gonna be funny to watch. It's gonna be exciting. So I like it just from that, the excitement, and then they didn't really give up much. So yeah, and again, like Matt said, he's top 12. You know my agendas with George Pickens.
Durag, how you feel about the trade?
I mean, like they said, that offense, because we seen Dak already orchestrate some crazy offenses with just CD alone. Now, George Pickens should ideally complement CD to a T, but the old line without Zach Martin is going to be a question. The coaching is going to be a question. The defense is still going to be a question. I mean, it's just too many holes. And I'd probably say their ceiling would be a wild card team. And that's probably about it. I mean, it's going to be a great offense, but outside of that, I mean, what else has Dallas really got going for them?
Yeah, you right. Mulich, how you feel about the trade?
Kind of the same sentiments as the fellas that spoke before me. It doesn't really move the needle for me, honestly. When you look at Dallas, obviously they can't run the ball. The defense is shit. O-line is starting to get worse because the guys that they drafted in the first round a few years back are getting older and they're starting to age out. So adding a George Pickens with a Dak that obviously can't really get protected like that and is battling a lot of serious injuries, especially as far as the comeback goes. I mean, you give him another weapon, yeah, sure, but I mean, what else does that do for your team? And like the fella said, play calling is questionable at best. So, like, yeah, it's just the Cowboys being the Cowboys, thinking that they're going to sign a proper player, somebody who's splashy in the free agent market as far as names go, but it's not really going to move the needle in any kind of way. This is Jerry Jones being a classic Jerry Jones.
Mel?
I mean, it's the Cowboys. What do you expect? I mean, if you want somebody who's going to make a ridiculous catch every 4 weeks, you get George Pickens. But it doesn't move the needle for the Cowboys. It doesn't make them any better. They're still, at this point, are they even the third best team in the East?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
They are. I'm not going to.
They're better than the Giants.
They're better than
them and the Cowboys.
I do think
the Giants are.
I think they're closer to the Giants than they are to the Commanders.
That's what I'm saying. What I mean is like them and the Giants on the same tier. If you ask me, they're not that far apart, if anything.
No, I gotta disagree with that.
Why would you say that?
I'm not gonna lie. I think Dallas is that much better of a team, even with all their deficiencies. Because let's not like the Giants don't have a lot of deficiencies as well.
If Dak comes back healthy, I mean, come on, let's be real.
I mean, yeah.
If Dak comes, what?
If Dak's playing,
I mean, dude, we're talking about Dak versus Russ, Jameis, and God forbid Jackson.
With CDs, Pickens, I mean, it's still.
Pickens, and we talked about the O line, but I mean, dude, the Giants O line is worse.
I mean, even with the
name them quarterbacks again.
But the Giants' defense,
Ross,
Jameis,
Jameis,
the Giants' defense
hopefully,
is better.
hopefully not Dart.
But the Giants' defense is better.
None of them are better than Dak, and it's not.
They got to put up points, though, Mel. That's my thing is with the.
They got to put them up.
I hope, but it's like even last time we seen Dak healthy, even with all the deficiencies on the Cowboys, they still managed to win games. They're going to be better than the Giants. Like,
but they were doing it in shootouts though. Like they were giving up bunches of yards and points.
I mean, shit. That you can put up points, she win the game. Like, I'm just saying, Dak. With his deficiencies, if a healthy Dak is playing, I think they're clearly better than the Giants right now. I gotta see how the rest of them play. Like,
yeah, but I'm putting a lot of. Even though I don't like the Giants secondary too much, that defense is going to be good.
I was about to say they're going to be probably top 5 if they reach their full potential.
I heard it last year though. Like when they got Brian Burns, I heard the same thing. It's always Giants get a lead D line. They can't put up points.
We said the same thing about the Cowboy offense.
What you mean?
Well, the
Cowboys offense always.
I mean, the Cowboys.
Usually, when Dak Prescott is playing football, the Cowboys offense is always prolific.
And then the defense is super suspect.
But if we being real,
they got Matt Eberflus.
I agree. Mel, it's crazy. I agree with you. But here's the thing, though: they still be managing to win games. All I'm saying, like even they be losing in the playoffs. They're gonna lose in the wild card.
I mean, but if we being for real, before Dexter Lawrence got hurt, y'all only was just losing teams because y'all offense was bad, but y'all was hanging with everybody. Then Dexter Lawrence got hurt, but
they had really bad.
Y'all defense was really on point last year. Y'all wasn't getting blown out. Like Dexter Lawrence was cooking. He was looking like first team All Pro. And the best D tackle in the game. Now you add in, and then I think who was the guy that stepped up for y'all when I want to say Burns got hurt or when Dexter Lawrence got hurt. Y'all had another dude who I don't remember his name, but he was cooking too. Maybe it was.
Well, he's gone anyway. He's a Philadelphia now.
It was somebody like 50 something, but he was dog. He's a dog.
Yeah,
that was
it.
The secondary,
how you feel about Pickens being a Cowboy?
Took a big step back too. I don't know.
Bama, how you feel about Pickens being a Cowboy?
Mel was getting close to it. The rest of y'all, Trey will hit it right on the head. The rest of y'all trying to overanalyze this, man. It's Dallas. Until you know who dies, all of that analytical and trying to make sense of a situation, you can throw that shit out the window. This is what's gonna happen. The Cowboys, Dak gonna put up a whole bunch of empty yards. He gonna throw for 5,000. Majority of them gonna come in the fourth quarter when they lose them 35-7, and then he gonna throw three touchdowns, and it's gonna look like, oh man, that threw for 447 and 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. It can't be his fault unless you watch the whole game. All right. Then on top of that, we already saw, because somebody brought it up earlier, they got rid of Dez because Dez was that type of receiver. Throw me the ball when I'm open. Man, if you got rid of Dez, and Dez was a veteran in the league, and he knew how to ask for the ball. Man, wait till you see NFL young boy. He gonna be throwing helmets. He gonna be calling Dak a pussy. All of this. He gonna want to fight the coach. It is gonna be everything that Dak ran away from with Dez times 2.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all be putting too much on George Pickens. Like, I know he's
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm not gonna. No. It ain't no.
He had every right to crash out last year because he wasn't. He's
one of them type of receivers that
held every.
So what's gonna happen when you don't get the ball with what happens when you get the ball with that?
When he gonna get the ball though?
He's not, bro. Why is he not with the ball? He gonna throw it to that tight end Ferguson. He gonna throw it to that tight end more than anybody, bro. Then let's just not act like he didn't get. What's the last tight end that just went to the Texans? That was his favorite target, bro.
Here's the issue.
Here's my Dalton Schultz.
Here's my issue though.
It was games where Dalton Schultz had 3 touchdowns fucking around.
Here's my main issue.
What are y'all talking about?
Y'all are acting like GP was moving like Odell in 2018, 2019. I'm just saying, y'all are acting like he's moving like that. Is he a hothead?
All I know is
y'all are dragging it though. How he is though? Y'all are dragging it though.
When he had Cooper and he had CD, he was feeding both of them, dog. Dak has been looking for a second receiver for a while, and when he do got a legit second receiver, even Michael Gallup a couple years ago, he do feed a second receiver, and Pickens clears anybody they've had on the other side, other than probably Cooper because he was still kind of his prime at the time. He gonna get the ball, trust me.
Yeah, no cap, like
y'all tripping, dog.
I don't think that
it's gonna at least be T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, at least type of vibe. Where like he'll get like 1,000 yards at least.
You said Jamar Chase and T. Higgins?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they don't have Joe Burrow, so
I mean they don't have Joe Burrow.
I get you. Prescott again.
That's
me myself personally. I'd rather watch Jackson Dart and see what he's gonna do next year because I already know what Dak Prescott, Dakota's going to do. We already know what Dakota's going to do.
I think if that defense tight too, Russell's going to be all right.
Damn, you said that Dak's going to throw for an empty 5,000 yards. He would be the 10th quarterback ever to do that. Do you really believe that?
And it's going to be empty. He's going to be the first one to where it's empty.
But the thing is, though, like, I'm not going to lie.
So Bama, you're going against yourself. Because if you throw for 5,000 yards, Pickens get 1,000 of that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No cap.
With that, I guarantee you Ferguson gonna have 1,200 yards. With that,
when?
It's
Dak, bro.
Dak, you know what? Honestly, that's a good bet. Dak
That's
a good bet.
Young, you can say they don't have Joe Burrow. Cool. But
do you know what's crazy?
Let's not act like Dak is a scrub, though. Like, let's just not do that.
No, he's not a scrub.
I'm not gonna lie. Like,
yeah, but he's not Burrow.
But like, he don't gotta be Burrow. You don't gotta be Burrow to have one of the best wide receiver dudes in the
I'm
league.
not saying
Dak is a scrub, but it curses.
Trent, I was the first one to say Dak consistently puts up a good passing attack almost every year when he's healthy. That's just what he does.
Like
if I'm Dak, I look at it like I got hurt last year. I almost won MVP the year before. They don't really mess with me like that. These fans don't really mess with me. The ownership, I'm airing that bitch out before they put Joe Milton in. I'm airing it out, man. What we doing? Bombs away. What we doing?
It would literally be a surprise if Dak doesn't play elite football this year. Like it would be so.
And that's unless he gets injured again. Like that's
unless he gets hurt because again he's playing.
If he get hurt, Joe Milton, his beginning gonna be pretty.
Dak to throw for 4,500 yards is plus 600. Just saying that for any game.
Oh, that's free money.
That's free money.
If he's healthy, I'd take that.
Yeah, do we trust Blue at running back? Do y'all trust Blue at running back?
I think Jada could be nice. Cool. It just depends how the whole line is for. Remember, I think Jada could be good.
Someone who takes the majority of the carries, I don't know how I feel about that.
They're not running the football a lot. They're about to throw the ball.
No, I know. Dak's new with the NFL in yards and attempts. I know.
I was about to say here's my thing with Blue in that running game. Do I think Blue is a starter? Not necessarily. If he is, he's probably like right on the fringe. But with what they're probably about to do on that offense, throwing the ball, throwing screens, just getting guys out in space, yeah, like you don't want Jaden Blue just running up the middle anyway. His whole game is being in space. So yeah, it makes.
Well, why did they get him and not get a legit running back?
Because they're about to throw the ball 700.
They're about to throw that rock because they panicked because they was probably
passing attempt.
I'm about to say, hey,
they got Javonte Williams and Phil Moffitt to go hit the hole and just get killed.
Oh, you do got Phil Moffitt too.
They got Javonte Williams if they want to go up the middle.
I kind of wanted to see George Pickens stay with DK Metcalf. That was gonna be like the Onyx for all my old heads of receivers. They was gonna be crashing out. That was gonna be a beautiful duo.
Slam.
Beating quarterbacks up.
That fit is nasty though. That fit would have been nasty. DK and George Pickens.
They would have been, bro. That would have been the funniest thing to watch every Sunday, dog. I promise you. They would have been crashing out.
Watching Will Howard miss every read and have them both getting mad at him would have been beautiful.
You said what, Bama?
What you need?
No, because they talking about something we acting like Dak mid. I said Dak that mid with no seeds. He's still mid though. It's popcorn. Like,
hey, listen. I know. Listen, I'm still getting these alerts. But quarterback for quarterback, he better than Hurts. I'm just being with y'all.
Whoa.
Yeah, whatever. We don't watch the game. Whatever. I'm tired of y'all. Y'all don't watch the game of football.
Who's better than Jalen Hurts?
Dak is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. Like, I don't understand what we're talking about. His actually being a quarterback. I'm not saying he's more clutch than him and all that other stuff. I'm talking about accuracy, things of that nature. He's a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. So I think Dak is.
Guess what? They would have lost in the first round of the playoffs instead of going.
You're right about that.
But they would have had a lot of yards. They would have had a lot of yards.
Hey, okay, hold on.
1700. AJ Brown would have had 1700.
This is not losing first round.
I gotta pull this off the agenda. Wait, come on. Wait. Pause. This year's Eagles team. What are you talking about? Who did they play in the playoffs? Correct me if I'm wrong.
It wasn't the Packers.
I'm not gonna lie, they literally won the game.
The Commander handled the Lions. They had to deal with the Lions. Commander handled them.
They actually probably would have won because it's not like Jalen Hurts.
They would have won. They beat the Packers.
They losing to the Green Bay Packers without the wide receiver 1-3. What are we talking about?
Look. We're talking about Eagles.
That Packers team was hurt to hell.
The Eagles played the Packers the first round.
Hold on.
They played no, they didn't.
No, they didn't have the bye. They didn't have the bye.
Dave, they played half.
Hold on.
Half that team was hurt.
Now look, I don't care about who y'all can debate that, but hold on. Let's get this one. They played the Packers. They was gonna beat the Packers regardless. Jordan Love played like Eagles and they had mad injuries. Let's get that out of the way. The Rams, they won that game because of Saquon Barkley. The QB play didn't even need to be that great. So they win that game regardless. So let's not do that.
Wait. You're telling me the Eagles won 2 games to get to the conference championship and didn't need their quarterback?
I'm not going to Jalen Hurts. Did they?
I'm just asking.
Wait, so you think? So wait a minute. So
did they? Because he played terrible versus the Rams.
I just want to make this clear.
Versus the Rams.
So you think?
No. Actually, that running back saved them.
They would have lost.
Let me ask this question. Go ahead, Mel.
So what you're saying that it didn't matter who was playing quarterback.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. If you when you look at the passing game was struggling, because I'm not gonna lie, them concepts that they was running versus the Packers sucked. I don't know what they were running. Jalen Hurts didn't even play that well as a quarterback. They won the game really off the strength of their defense. For real, he wasn't even willing. He went like he was just there. It was a 30 game. Like I think that Dak Prescott can win that game. The Rams game, they won that game because of Saquon Barkley. Like I'm not gonna lie, they won the game because of Saquon Barkley. They won that game because of him
and Jalen Carter.
That's all I'm saying.
He probably like rallied the troops better than Dak would have.
Now, if you want to say, they might lose to the Chiefs. I still disagree.
That D-line, no.
So you're telling me, hold up. You're telling me Dak can't give you against the Green Bay 13 for 21, 131, 15 for 20, 128 versus the Rams, and then he gave you 20 for 28 versus the Commanders, but they were waxing them. That's free point, and Dak is the king of front running. That's the king of front running.
Okay,
if you up by 20 and you give Dak the ball, he cooking.
I hate them fucking stats. So
let's
bad,
do.
bro.
I hate
that's not
stat
that's
merchants.
Not.
Kill me, Trent.
Word.
Who else played college football on this panel?
Young did. Bama did. Was a young player at UCF.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
watch the games, man.
Don't we have game plans? No. I don't care about the game. Don't we all have game plans?
Yeah.
We know what the defense is weak at, right?
Yeah.
So if we go into a game and we know they can't stop the goddamn run, what the hell are we gonna do?
Keep running the ball.
We're gonna run that. We're gonna run that shit till they stop it.
Right.
If they secondary is ass, what we gonna do?
Pass the rock.
Okay. So why are we gonna diminish what a quarterback does if the game plan is to
So,
run the ball?
Mel, do you agree Dak ain't got to the Super Bowl or no?
Early, I got you. It's not about this diminishing what Jalen Hurts, what a quarterback does. All Bama said they will lose in the first round with a super team. I wholeheartedly disagree on that.
Yeah, that's cap.
They're losing to the Packers, Rams, or the Commanders. Because if you look how the game went, you just look at how the game went. The Commanders game, they won the game almost in the first quarter. I'm not going to
get them out of there.
Okay,
that shit was over. It was over.
Yeah.
The Rams game, it was a struggle game, yes, but they won the game. They won their game off the run game. It wasn't like Jalen Hurts, Will and Dillon. And then when you look at the Packers game, the reason why the passing game was struggling, it wasn't because of Jalen Hurts, because I think the route combos they ran that game specifically sucked. So it was a defensive game, and they got the job done. All I'm saying is, it's not diminishing Jalen Hurts. I just think that if we're just looking at how the games went from them 3 games, that could have done it. That's all I'm saying.
What's Jalen Hurts win? So what's Jalen Hurts win percentage as a quarterback?
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Man.
Well,
I think Jimmy G.
If that's the case, then Terry Bradshaw is top 5 quarterback of all time.
No. Listen, no, because
damn with that winning shit, bro. I get it.
No, because you calm yourself down. Because what you're doing is this is gumbo, dog. You got to take the play, and when everything goes into it, it's not just one thing. All right. So, yes, you look at the win percentage, you look at what he does on the field, and you put it all together. It's not just, I'm just saying, if that was the case, then I would talk about Jimmy Garoppolo.
I mean, Terry Bradshaw wasn't bad on the field.
So do Dak, I'm asking something. Do Dak not put up the numbers with the Eagles for what they got last year? So I'm asking you.
Okay, cool.
What does the numbers get you? Oh, if y'all
so let's do this.
Pretty,
let's
if y'all want to look pretty. Yes, I already said this. He will get AJ Brown 1,700 yards. He will get Smitty 1,400, and they will lose to the Rams. You holler this stuff about the running game of doing it, but this is where y'all be missing me, bro. Do y'all forget that Jalen Hurts is a big pivotal part of their run game too?
Of course.
14 touchdowns on the ground. That's just not going to do that.
No. I'm with you, I'm with you.
But what I'm saying, though, he had 600 yards. He had 600 yards.
Saquon could do those push pushes.
Those be crucial.
That's what I'm saying, Danny.
And he run and keep the chains.
I'm with you.
So they overlook it because what they talk about is the 135 yards.
Here's the thing, though,
Jalen Hurts, a lot of his yards are critical yards. Becoming crucial times.
But here's the thing, though. This is why I'm
to keep the chains moving.
But hold on, but this is why I'm neutral to this argument, because I don't like both sides. I'm not gonna lie. You can say that Dak still run the pill and he runs it enough. He can scramble. So yes, if Jalen Hurts is part of the pill run game, yes. But can Dak run a QB draw and get a QB draw, run a 30-yard touchdown? He can. We done seen it before.
Can Dak do a tush push with the Eagles online? Yes or no?
Can Dak do a tush push? I
Dak
think
don't
he
squat.
The nigga is 6'3", 240.
I don't care. Jalen Hurts squat 600 is different.
Even if you don't do the tush push, hold on. Even if you don't do the tush push, you think you give Saquon 3 tries at the 1-yard line? He can't get it now?
Yeah, come on.
God, man. So that's he would have had like 30. He'd probably beat LT record last year in touchdowns if he don't tush push 50.
So that's Jalen. So that's no. Okay, cool. I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we're here now. I'm glad we're here.
Go ahead, Mel. Go ahead.
So you're going to condemn Jalen Hurts for having Saquon Barkley?
No one
said
that. Okay, this is what it is. I'm trying to.
No, we're just going to acknowledge how it.
This is really what it is.
Y'all always switch the conversation.
This is what I'm explaining you. This is really the nitty gritty what Early's trying to say, and I'm gonna try to say it for him. Is that even though I think Jalen Hurts is great, and I feel like people drag Jalen Hurts, his situation that he's in is probably the most perfect situation you could probably have for a quarterback too. And Early is trying to say too, though. It's not about diminishing who he has. It's that you do have best defense in the league, best running back in the league, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas got it. That's what he's trying to say.
So then, did we hold
Dak even though we can say all the stuff we want about the Cowboys, Dak has never had this squad of Jalen Hurts, and I'm not even trying to defend Dak right now. I'm just saying.
So we've never heard the talk that the Cowboys had the best roster in the NFL.
And guess what? Dak, even if they did, Dak
That shit don't compare.
Conversation.
But hold up, but let's be real though, Mel. Let's be real, Mel.
2016,
With the on paper sound good. On paper, we see things we see on paper, but until the season actually starts, they show you what it is. That's a real thing.
Okay, bro. Okay, stop. I'm gonna say one. So
go ahead, Dale.
What Trent just said. What Trent? What did you say about the running back? You had what?
Yeah, you got to say one back. Yeah, they had Zeke.
Number one. Like, okay.
Has he?
Has anybody on this panel said the same thing and totally discredit what Patrick Mahomes has done in Kansas City when he had Tyreek Hill, when he had Travis Kelce, when he had all of that going on?
When the defense was doo-doo?
Yeah, when
Patrick Mahomes has never had a. Patrick Mahomes, niggas know I'm fucking Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has never had this squad. Hey, no, if Patrick Mahomes woke up on the Eagles roster, they would blow niggas out by 30 every game.
So guys, it's this simple. It's this simple. I know here, Trent, time out. Let me say the stat. Let me say the stat.
Hold on, Donnie. Hold on. So here's the difference with that, though, right?
So we good.
Here's the difference with that, though. When Mahomes and them was winning, especially them early years, it was the offense, and then they never had the best defensive league when they was winning early.
So you got to have everything. You got to have everything.
Jalen Hurts. Oh, never mind.
Trent, put it like this.
He's got the best defense. The Eagles have the best defense in the league.
Trent. Put it like this.
Yes.
Put it like this. Put it like this.
Yeah.
Whoa. Jalen brought a top 5 in D tackle.
So
that pass rush was amazing. That quarter play is locked down.
Did they have the best
down?
They had the best offense?
What y'all screaming? Y'all screaming about a bunch of bullshit that don't matter. They built that team around that man, bro. Shut the fuck up, acting like the team was already built, and they just said, "Who Jalen?"
No.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, another thing. This is where I'm finna cook y'all bums. The people that played in the game. Do you know what comes along with having a stacked team like that? You better win fucking ball games. And like I just told you, that will lose in the first round with that team and get the whole team blown up.
Man, first of all, if you're gonna cook, turn your stove on, nigga. You're not cooking nothing. Here's the thing about the Eagles. Here's the thing about the Eagles.
Fuck them numbers. Y'all talking about numbers.
Man, you on bullshit.
When you having stacked teams, when you are a good team, every day when you walk in there, they like, we gotta
for you to say they built the team around him, dog. They literally.
Hey, Jay,
throw for 4,500. You don't throw for 400.
Let Trey get in there, man.
Trey, go ahead.
Let Trey go. Thank you.
That nigga stressed out.
I don't know how football
Y'all make my nerves. I swear to God. But look, okay. See, here's the problem that I have with this whole argument. Because if you want to talk about cool as a passer, Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. Cool. I'm not gonna make an argument. You got it. Because at this point, yes, he is. He's always been a better passer. Mm-hmm. The problem that I have is that we are talking about somebody who, quite frankly, is a loser. And I know. Wait, hold on. Nope. Just hear me out.
No, you're cooking.
Like he is a loser.
You're a loser.
Like at this point, we have seen this man. We have seen this man play with a lot of talent. Has he ever had a team like this? Absolutely not. But I would venture to say that this is probably the best roster that has been constructed in the last 25 years that won a Super Bowl. So I would venture to say that almost no one has ever had a roster like that. So that's fine.
Yes.
I totally agree.
But
other than maybe the 07 Patriots.
Hold on.
But they didn't win the bowl. That's what he's saying, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, I said that won the Super Bowl. 18-1 player. I hate to say what. Thank you for that ring time. Thank you. Anyway, but also we judge quarterbacks specifically on how they play in high leverage moments. If we are going to be consistent in doing that, I'm sorry. I do not want to ever fucking hear Dakota Rain Prescott's name in these conversations again, because we have watched over a decade plus. And for those of us who watched him in college, like I did when he was at Mississippi State, we have more than a decade plus of you being a fucking loser. Sorry.
I got you.
Like, as a player, if you're talking about, hey, I need you to throw this from the pocket, I need you to dissect this, that, and the third, absolutely, you got it. I'm not gonna argue. But if we are going to be consistent in how we judge these quarterbacks, we have a long history of watching this guy, for whatever reason, come up short when we need him not to.
That's fair.
So
If
we're going to be consistent,
I got a question for y'all.
Time and ending his
I got a
career,
question
not
for
high
y'all.
leverage moment.
I got a question for y'all in the draft, Trey. So let me ask you this, right? So let's just say this year they don't win and Hurts plays like how he did in 2023. What is the conversation in?
For who?
Wait,
Jalen Hurts.
2023.
Because all I'm saying is because look, I'm gonna be real. Even though I think Jalen Hurts is a dog, and I think Jalen Hurts is the top 10 quarterback. He has had, when he's gotten going in his best years, has when literally the rock, like, niggas had a top 3 defense in the league. Your offense was top 5. Like, they would, like, it literally looked, the run game is elite. Everything looks perfect around you for him to do that.
Niggas was so, they made Sanders a damn Pro Bowler. Made Miles Sanders a Pro Bowler. $1,200.
This year, everything went perfect for him. That's all I'm saying. And if he say like some injuries happen and he don't have the full squad and he did like himself in 2023, then what's that conversation then look like for Jalen Hurts?
How did he play in 2023?
In the playoffs?
I'm about to say, did you terrible.
Good.
How about let's simplify it? Let's simplify it. Let's simplify it.
You talking about his rookie year?
We can simplify it. We can simplify it. If you got a number 1 running back, you got a top 5 receiver core, you got a number 3 defense, and you have a top 3 O-line, right? Just take one away from him. Does he win like this if you take one away from him? Because we'll see, for instance, Patrick Mahomes, right? He might have the defense, but the receivers ain't there. Like, when you're really good, the sad part about it is I commend the Eagles GMs in that organization for making sure they put the stuff around him. Because so many quarterbacks, when they so good, you almost, it's almost a bad thing because it's like, Joe Burrow so good, we don't need a defense. Lamar so good, we don't need no number 1 receivers. Patrick Mahomes so good, we don't really need no receivers. He can still get a double Travis Kelce because he has in the past. But with Jalen Hurts, if you take one thing away from him, either Saquon gone or maybe his receiver core gone, can he win? He needs everything to win. And he don't. He needs everything to win, dog. Because when he don't have everything, he loses. Like everybody else does.
Win. But can I interject right now? Because
win, nigga. What
you just said?
Go ahead, man.
What you just said describes every quarterback in the NFL. Joe Burrow had 2,000-yard receivers, 1 go for a triple crown, and they got their ass whooped because the defense didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes had a great defense, no offensive weapons, got his ass whooped. And we all come up with the excuse, well, why didn't it happen? Offense was trash. Why didn't it work for Joe Burrow? Defense was ass. Why Lamar can't win? Got no weapons on the outside. That's every quarterback, dog. So when a quarterback does get everything, he's supposed to fucking win.
And I agree, but this goes back to, I guess,
but tangibly, he's just not as good as those guys. Like, that's just the way
Mel, I agree. So Mel, let me ask you this, right? Where you got Jalen Hurts ranked?
Would I have him ranked?
Yeah. Top 3-ish, top 5-ish, where you got him ranked? Top 7, where you got him ranked?
Somewhere in the, I say top 5.
Be over Lamar with this side.
Because
he should be better than Lamar.
Because he has a Super Bowl.
That's it, Daddy. That's it.
And look, this is what I said this the other day.
I just don't understand, like, with all the people that rank him so high because he has a Super Bowl. My thing is, like, why don't people rank Stafford high anymore? Like, he just won a Super Bowl, and his wasn't that long ago, and he hasn't.
No, because he's old.
He's the same guy. He's the same guy.
And you're not gonna give me the loser thing because if Stafford played for the Eagles, they go undefeated. So tell me Stafford.
He's not a loser. He played the Eagles.
Dak a loser. Yeah, you're right. Dak a loser. Is Stafford a loser?
Why?
Time out. Hold on.
And he still is.
Young, what was you saying?
This is my whole issue with. I said this the other day. I have no problem if you rank Jalen Hurts in the top 5 based off of a Super Bowl win. But you have to say you value Super Bowls. If you could put it on a scale of to 100% at like 90%, because Jalen Hurts, for the stat nerds,
he doesn't have a great stat season. He doesn't have one. Jalen Hurts' skill set isn't a all-time skill set.
So where do you put?
Hold on.
But what is
if you're evaluating him?
But the ranking has to be. Then we have to know exactly what the rankings is. Are we ranking him off of talent, or are we ranking him off of results?
I'm talking skill. I'm talking.
When do we hold up? When do we rank niggas off results? Because Mel, how old are you, Mel?
47.
Mel, in your 47 years of life, have you ever had anybody in your 47 years of life tell you Terry Bradshaw was a top 5 quarterback?
Probably
no.
Why not though? He a Hall of Famer. He got 4 Super Bowls. His stats ain't that nice when he wins. So why not?
He's got an MVP too.
Now that you got all your anger out your chest, can I answer?
Yeah, go ahead, my man.
Okay. When I say results,
that's how they get the shit off.
When I say results, your stats, Matt, that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
What you do with your team is in there. Mm-hmm. Because if that's the case, last year, would you consider Joe Burrow a top 5 quarterback just off of his stats?
Yes.
Okay. Now off the results.
Yes.
They didn't make the playoffs.
His results was a week. His results was
this is what watching the game. You watch Joe Burrow play quarterback and you think he ain't top 5 because he
This is mostly my main issue. Is you should be able to distinguish how good a player is versus the wins that come with it. Because Trey, you harp on this all the time. So many things have to go right to win a football game. Mm-hmm. You look at Tom Brady's Super Bowls. He's not winning a Super Bowl without Malcolm Butler. Legitimately, we are giving Tom Brady credit for an entire Super Bowl that was won because Pete Carroll did not give the ball to Marshawn Lynch.
Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is?
No, listen.
Do you know why that is?
I'm saying, no, listen.
Do you know why that is?
What did Tom Brady do to impact the outcome of that game?
Do you know why that is? Because the quarterback, whether the team wins or lose, who's going to get the bulk of the bullshit or the praise?
But is that right?
I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you if it was right. I asked you what
I understand it. I'm saying that's the issue.
Then that's where the conversation. That's where the conversation. That's where it stops.
It's not right. If I jump off a bridge, I know it's not right. Do I just do it just because that's a conversation?
So then when Tom Brady threw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns and got his ass kicked by the Eagles, whose fault? But who gets the blame for that?
Ass kicked.
Listen,
exactly.
It came down to a Hail Mary.
What do they say? They say Tom Brady didn't beat who?
No,
okay.
Hold on.
Just because they're saying that doesn't mean it's right.
Time out.
It doesn't mean it's right.
That's not the point here. The point is what
that's a top 2 Super Bowl performance of his career.
Here's the thing, Mel. Here's the thing, though, and it goes to I think what Young is trying to say. When he had that performance, it wasn't blaming Tom Brady for that performance. They didn't say it was Tom Brady's fault.
They blame Bill Belichick. That's what they blame.
Correct. You know why
they blame Bill?
They didn't play the best player on the team, and they're getting torched.
He didn't give there's not nobody on this earth has gave Tom Brady blame for the Eagles' loss. Nobody has gave him blame for that.
They don't.
Watch him play the game. We watch him play the game.
No, wait a minute.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
We watch him play.
When they lost to the Giants, what was the conversation?
But here's the thing. He didn't play that well in them Giants games, and they're playing a severe underdog. So that's why he got some blame for it. The Eagles game, he literally almost put up 600 yards passing, and he lost off a strip sack fumble. You can't blame him for that. That's all. For example, when you look at Dak Prescott versus the Packers, that first half, why they went up the game? You look at it, it's because of Dak Prescott. That's why he gets cooked so much about his player performances.
Can we watch it?
He basically didn't lost in the game.
With every win and every loss, unless it's something catastrophic, the quarterback gets the blame.
Bad logic.
Because it's
not true at all. It's not true at all.
Wait, so hold on. Do you not have your own? Hold on.
This goes back to my first point.
Do you not have your own line of thinking?
This goes back to my first point. If you want to think that, that's cool. Again, Jalen Hurts has no statistical season that is on par with anybody in the top 5. Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. Their best seasons are not even close. That's 1. 2. When you watch them as players, it's night and day. Yeah. So again, I'm fine if you have Jalen Hurts top 5. That's cool. But you are essentially saying you value the winning of a championship game. 85, 90.
That win is the national. That's how old head. That's how Mel 47. That's how they think, dog. That's how they think. If you win, you in, and that's all they think about, dog.
That's fine. You can do that, but you're going to die on bad hills because you're excluding guys who do the exact same thing with better stats, with better talent, and you don't have them over him. Matthew Stafford has better stats season than Jalen Hurts. He is more talented than Jalen Hurts. He has won a Super Bowl like Jalen Hurts. Is Matthew Stafford top 4 for you?
Yes, he is.
Okay. So he's better than Jalen Hurts to you.
Can I ask Mel 2 questions? 2 questions, Mel. This first question is this, right? I look at let me see Brock Purdy. If Brock Purdy won the Super Bowl versus the Chiefs last year.
I don't do hypotheticals. Trent will tell you that right off the top. I don't do hypotheticals.
Okay, Mel, can I ask you something? You said
how about this? If I give you the Eagles team as constructed, but I let you pick your quarterback, do you pick Jalen Hurts?
Say what?
If I give you the Eagles team as constructed, but you can pick your quarterback, do you pick Jalen Hurts?
Lamar Jackson would be my quarterback.
Do you think Lamar Jackson? Wait, hold on, Matty. Is Lamar Jackson better than
winning logic?
Hold on, Matty.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Is Lamar Jackson better than Jalen Hurts?
Yes.
You value winning that much? You said Lamar?
How can he be better if you value winning that much?
Because I keep trying to tell y'all, it's individual play and the winning. Lamar has 2 MVPs on his ass.
That's not winning though.
No. His play and the team, yes. He's lost in the playoffs. He's lost in the playoffs, but he's got a team to the playoffs with less talent, didn't he not?
Man, you contradicting the hell out of yourself, man. No, I don't understand why y'all don't listen.
Look, Mel, I don't understand why nobody. I think you got to be really. I think you have to be a really skilled quarterback to get less talented teams to the playoffs and win games. I'm with you with that. I agree. Yeah.
And I add in what he's done during his statistical regular seasons, what he's done on the teams that he has had. Has he won a Super Bowl? No, he has not. But same thing with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts may not have the passing numbers, but if you add that with his rushing numbers, it's what we do. Like, it's everything. It's just not passing. It's not. Every quarterback.
How do you rank a quarterback so high? Because a quarterback on his ability to rush the ball.
I didn't. Why do you just? I just named fucking 3 things, and you went straight to fucking rushing, dog. It's everything. Do you not focus? It's
There's a lot of quarterbacks who got better talent.
That's what makes sense.
Is winning.
Okay, so if you
rank winning high.
Okay, so Mel,
it's like 90%.
If you combine everything, right? If you combine everything, how is Jalen Hurts even close to Joe Burrow?
How is he even close?
Yeah, how is he even close?
Why wouldn't he be close or pass him? What has Joe Burrow done?
Okay, so just like how what you said with Lamar, Burrow doesn't have the MVP.
How many times has Joe Burrow been in the playoffs?
You said what?
How many times has Joe Burrow been in the playoffs?
Every year of his career except for rookie year.
3 times, I'm pretty
2
sure.
times.
Made it to championship game.
Okay. How many times has Jalen Hurts got his team to the playoffs?
Did Jalen Hurts get
they both have this. They both
have like 3. He's the quarterback.
3 or 4.
And
how many times how many times did Jalen Hurts take his team to the playoffs? Like 1? Maybe 1.
Does that outweigh the job
you said
Burrow has to do to get his team to the playoffs?
He got
Jalen Hurts as an individual, I could probably say he led his team to the playoffs.
It's a team sport, and he's the quarterback of the
team. Exactly. That's exactly why.
When you said whether he takes his team to the playoffs,
it's not a quarterback stat. And he never will be.
Shut up and listen and let me explain.
You're explaining bullshit.
Fucking problem you have.
You are
Go ahead.
bullshit.
No, Mel, go ahead.
Listen.
Mel, go ahead. Mel, go ahead.
As the quarterback is the quarterback, right? When we say the quarterback takes a team out of the huddle, wins games, wins Super Bowls, takes teams to the playoffs, it's the quarterback that is the guy, right? Or am I fucking tripping? Is that why he gets the big?
Ever take the Ravens playoffs?
A little bit.
So when we say who took the Eagles to the playoffs, who is it?
Okay, I got a question for you. You can say Jalen Hurts. Who took the
Everybody.
49ers?
Everybody,
Who
because
took
if the
the
team's
49ers to the playoffs in 2019?
Who was the quarterback?
Jimmy G.
Garoppolo.
Yeah,
So
man.
Jimmy Garoppolo took it. Was the defense good? 100%.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, on a real note. I'm so dead ass. Ain't no way you sat down and watched 2019 49ers football and said Jimmy G was the reason he took the team to the playoffs.
No.
Like he won handing that bitch off every single game to Raheem Mostert and that defense that have 10 sacks.
Oh, you mean like Jalen Hurts is doing?
Like what?
Wait.
Y'all talking about stat watching. I'm talking about how I'm watching how you play the game of football. I'm watching at least 5 games. Saquon saved Jalen Hurts.
You got hold on. He got sour pussy face. Go ahead, keep talking.
No, it's simple as that. You talking about watching the game? You're not watching the game. I've been watching that team and saying Jimmy G. That's the focal point. The quarterback.
I never said he was the focal point. All right, bro. I didn't say he was the focal. When did I say he was the focal point?
Next topic.
Now, he ain't gonna direct. He didn't say he was the focal point.
Tier list. We got a tier list today.
Yeah, we do. But hold on.
We going in circles, man. This shit done.
Is that not synonyms though? Saying that you took somebody and saying that you're not the focal point, that can be synonyms.
I said he
correct.
As the quarterback.
There's no way you can take somebody to the playoffs and you're not the focal point.
Okay, hold on. Can I go now?
Go ahead, Sherry.
Go ahead,
bro.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, this is where me and you deviate, Mel, because to what Trey said, I mean, yeah, well,
Trey. His name is Trey.
Yeah, you're right.
Trey, get on.
It's 2 Treys up here. It get confusing sometimes. But yeah, to what Trey said earlier, wins are a team stat. Like,
always will be.
I understand where you're coming from with the logic because we place so much on quarterbacks, and because quarterbacks are so important to the game, they affect winning in a different way than other positions, which is the exact reason why I call Dak Prescott a loser. But even with that, we, especially those of us who played the game and know it at a very intimate level, we have to be more responsible with the term leading people. Like, to their point, I would probably have Jalen Hurts in that top 6 range, top 5, because at this point, he's earned it because the other guys in that area that are probably more talented than him haven't accomplished anything that would be like, hey, I have to put this guy up here, as in this guy's won an MVP or this guy has won a Super Bowl. As a matter of fact, Justin Herbert should be ahead of him, but I'm sorry, as of right now, Justin Herbert is heading towards Loserville with Dak Prescott.
So we don't count the fact that what he's done, like what he had to deal with for the last at least 2 or 3 years of Justin Herbert, the receivers, the defense, the coaching staff. What?
I hear you. Early, this is where me and you depart, because I was willing to give him a pass because honestly, when I saw him lose that playoff game a few years back, I was looking at him a little funny because I get it. Like, okay, comebacks happen every once in a while, but I still have to wonder why you weren't able to score a single fucking point in the second half as physically talented as you were, because I watch your games. I know what you're physically capable of. You should be able to, at the very least, every 1 or 2 plays, if you scramble or break right or go off script, you are talented enough to, at the very least, get your team 3 fucking points. The fact that you did it, that makes me look at you funny. But I'm going to give you a pass because that was your first one. That's your first one. I can't flame you for that.
Okay.
But when you finally get a defense, and all I've heard for the last 2 fucking years is All you got to do is get him a defense. All you got to do is get him a defense. All you got to do is get him a defense. He walked his happy ass out there and threw that bitch to the other team. I don't know how many motherfucking times. That is on him.
I got a question for you, though, Trey.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
Trey,
come on with it.
That'll put you to
so,
lose.
okay, so Trey, I got a question for you. When all the people that be hating on Jalen Hurts saying he needs a God squad to win or finally go to the Super Bowl, and then when he don't have that in 2023, he looks real pedestrian in the playoffs. What are we saying then?
Look, if I'm being honest, when it comes to that, I'll concede that point.
Okay.
Because the reality is, I think there's only 4 quarterbacks in the league that can really get there. Like, if you give them like somewhat of a team, they can probably will their way to almost the Super Bowl. Everybody else, you probably gonna need a God squad, my nigga. I'm sorry. That's
close to it.
That's cool. That's cool.
But Trey, even like even like a Jalen Hurts last year, I said the Saints game, right? He couldn't score. He couldn't score versus Saints. He was turning the ball over.
Trey, who are the 4?
Lamar, Josh Allen, probably Joe Burrow.
Yep.
Like truthfully, the only reason why Joe Burrow is even having the struggles that he's having is because he is playing for a broke boy organization.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If we're really being honest, if we're really being honest and we talk about the context of what he is having to deal with, Joe Burrow is dealing with some shit that quite literally nobody else is dealing with, because he's the only one who is an elite level quarterback who is playing for an owner who literally isn't a billionaire and can't afford to play the game that everybody else is playing.
Okay, what about Matthew Stafford? What makes you put for Matthew Stafford?
He's a gatekeeper.
I think he's there.
Hold on, wait. As the resident Matthew Stafford truther here, who has been singing his praises since he was at Georgia, while everybody else was calling him a loser,
right?
While he was in Detroit.
I know always knew it was good. I'm with you.
Hey, look, if you watch the games, you understood. Hey, he only had a team for real once. Everything else was just him, Megatron, and the merry band of fucking misfits. That shit was garbage all the time. And he constantly turned chicken shit into chicken salad every fucking year on that field until they finally got him out of there. And you see, the moment you got the motherfucker out of there and gave him a decent team, it wasn't like the best team ever. This wasn't a God squad like the
game winner drives in playoffs.
It's just a really good football team. You gave him a really good football team, and this nigga immediately went to Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And
not even that. Even in the last 2 years, he's gone to the playoffs. Even when his team has been beat down, hurt.
They're winning the Super Bowl this year.
Hold on. Mind you, the version of Matt Stafford that went and won that Super Bowl is a diminished Matt Stafford. It's an older Matt Stafford.
Right.
Like this isn't even
peak Matt Stafford.
The best that he had to offer the game. Those years were already behind him. That's my thing. If we want to talk about like ranking guys, yeah, Matt's still up there. Like you still have to give him his props, because the reality is a majority of it, the narrative on his career for the longest time, because he was a part of a destitute organization, was that he was a loser.
Okay.
Because he was a quarterback. And he was
Trey, is he over Jalen Hurts or not?
Yeah.
He is, right? Okay. That makes Jalen Hurts 6 then. So then why? What does Jalen Hurts do better than Stroud?
But just to piggyback, Trey, just why again was Matthew Stafford not considered an elite quarterback?
People don't watch football.
No, I'm just saying. I just want to know why. Just
because he lost.
I'm gonna be honest. He really was considered elite.
He was heading up a losing organization, and because he was the face of a losing organization,
because losing, right?
The biggest losing organization. That's probably the worst. Like at the time.
But if you watch ball, we all was saying get him out of there. We was all saying get him out of there.
Everybody in the league knew Matthew Stafford was elite.
But I'm saying that's not that. But my point is, when I'm talking about how you rank quarterbacks, Isn't winning a part of that?
Yeah, of course it is.
It depends. It depends.
But it shouldn't be the end all be all.
It's a lot of
end all be all, man.
Mel, hold on, y'all. Mel, this is what I'm saying. Hold on, Trey. Hold on, I got it. Bro, Mel. Yes, winning is involved, but it shouldn't be the end all.
I didn't say it was the be all.
I get you. So I'm gonna put it for example.
It shouldn't be 70.
All the people that got Jalen Hurts in a top saying he better than like the likes of Josh Allen, Lamar, Joe Burrow. I'm sorry, that's not possible. That's crazy.
Well, Matthew Stafford.
Don't got a case
or CJ Stroud.
You don't got to value.
I'm not talking talent. Okay, I'll give you a guy, Trent. You already know because me and you had this conversation years ago. When Baker was in Cleveland, what did I kept saying? Get his ass out of there and get him somewhere where he can play ball. What happened? The narrative on Baker changed.
But Baker didn't have a trash team.
No. He played in Cleveland. That shit was ass. It was.
But he didn't.
Trash.
That Baker shit different.
Do you understand? Do you understand? You're basically saying Baker's good, but you're applying a tag just because of something he can't control.
No, yeah, because there's a difference between being talented and then having the ability to showcase the talent so that it can translate
Baker
to what the ultimate. Baker's what?
Baker showed he took the Browns to the playoffs and won the playoff game, and then his shoulder was fried. He played through it, and then everybody called him trash for it.
What Baker was able to take the Browns to the playoffs because the team got good, right?
And context to it too, because Baker was about to throw them out of the playoffs that year too until they started running the ball more. They started feeding Chubb down the road. But so you talking about he led them to the playoffs? That's a lot, bro. He was about to throw them out of the playoffs.
See, so did Jalen Hurts not throw them out the playoffs 2 years ago? When they lost 9 straight? Did he not throw them out the playoffs?
No, Tom.
Baker would throw you out the playoffs, though.
Jalen Hurts threw them out the playoffs.
Mel, I agree with you.
Everything changed.
Hold on, but he's lying, though. Time out. He's lying. Wait, time out. Pause. Remember, you're lying. Nick Chubb got hurt that year. He didn't even play the full season.
Bro, they was running the ball, though. They ran the ball.
Okay, but
why was he lead?
Whoever was to run it
12 games though.
I remember vividly. He was about to throw them out of the playoffs.
Hold on, but you can't do that though. And we're talking about
isn't that just Baker in general though? Baker will throw you out of the game. That's Lee Baker right now. Baker will throw you out of the football game.
I'm not gonna lie. You cannot say, "Oh, he can't. He really lived to the playoffs." They had Nick Chubb. Jalen Hurts had a nigga who almost broke 2K rushing yard record.
You said Baker would throw you out of a game now?
Do that, bro.
Yeah, that's just Baker in general. That's how Baker. Like that's Baker play. Like he'll throw you into a game and he'll throw you out of it. That's just Baker in general.
Like you
can say that about every quarterback. That's weird.
Right. But especially Baker, though. I'll say, but the way Baker's played out, especially Baker, but Baker did ball out for them and got them a playoff win. And the next year,
but Durack, in the games with Jalen Hurts is stinking it up, does he not have Saquon to save him? That's dope versus the Saints. He was throwing them out the game. Saquon hits a 60-yarder. Like every time a game they were going to lose. And he was playing bad. Saquon saved his ass, man. He saved him versus the Rams too. He saves his ass every time. He saved him versus the Packers. Every time he has a bad game, Saquon goes, "Let me put my cape on for this nigga once again and go for 120." Justin Herbert ain't got that.
I mean, yeah.
CJ Stroud didn't have that. Only nigga might have had that was Lamar Jackson. Joe Burrow ain't got that. Like, it's so many guys who ain't got what he got. So how can he be? He wins. But how's he over these guys? Yeah, that don't make sense to me.
That's not his fault. I think you just ignoring a lot of context in terms of how these quarterbacks win, and that's what's nasty to me.
I mean,
you're making it seem so black and white, but it's like you gotta apply the context. Like the way Joe Burrow wins and the way Jalen Hurts wins is two different. It's two different things.
That's been my whole. That's why I literally.
All-time running back.
The offense, you dictate how you're going to play that game. No quarterback is a monolith. Nobody.
But do we think certain quarterbacks can literally make you play a certain way? I'm gonna give you a prime example, right? When the Rams had Jared Goff, they played a certain way. When they got Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay said, "Oh, I can open this playbook up. Oh, I got a nigga who can really throw. Oh, let me show you something." I think there are quarterbacks in this league that if they play for the Eagles, they can open the playbook up. Well, Saquon could probably still give you 16, 17 yards, but now it just looks better. Now you beating niggas by 20. You blowing teams out because not only you airing the ball, but you running the ball too. That's what I'm saying. There's guys that if you put them in the same predicament, they not only win the Super Bowl too, but they probably go undefeated. Burrow goes undefeated with that Eagles team. Patrick Mahomes go undefeated with that Eagles team. Probably Josh Allen goes undefeated with that Eagles team. I give you Matthew Stafford undefeated with that Eagles team.
We don't know what nobody can do in that Eagles offense but Jalen Hurts.
Running back in the league and the best O-line in the league. It's not hard.
You said what, Moolish?
It's not hard to go undefeated with one of the best teams in the league.
Jalen Hurts didn't though. He didn't. He lost games.
And we're not going to sit here and act like other quarterbacks wouldn't also lose games because football is not just a sport where everything's automatic. Niggas is going to lose games. Motherfuckers is going to make plays.
That is my whole point. So you can win and lose games and it not even be your fault.
No, but and it goes back to what I said. Even when you win games, they praise the quarterback. Even if the defense goes out and goes nuts, the quarterback. That's why they pay them all of that money. This is the whole point of this whole conversation was about the quarterbacks and how they're being viewed based off wins and losses.
Did you blame Josh Allen when he lost in 2021 to the
My whole thing is why can't two things be true? Why can't we admit that he has a God squad, but also admit he had a top 5 to 10 quarterback? Like, damn,
they're not being viewed like that because Trevor Lawrence hasn't won anything and he just got paid $250.
But nobody says Trevor Lawrence is the top 5 quarterback.
Nobody.
Why is he getting paid top 5 money then?
That's the market. That's the market.
That's it. But listen,
why is that?
We don't believe in Tua.
No, the same way I'm talking about the market applies to how we rank them. Just because you get paid the money doesn't mean you deserve it. Just because you're winning football game doesn't mean you deserve the credit.
That's
not the same thing. It's the exact same thing. I do not think Trevor Lawrence should be making more money than Patrick Mahomes.
The top 3 quarterbacks making the most money yearly are Dak, Trevor, and Jordan Love.
None of them are
and that's because their contract was on the books. That's it. Their contract, it was their time. When it's time for Jay Daniels to get paid, they're gonna pull out the brick truck for the boy. When it's time for Patty to get a second, they go like it don't matter. When it's time for you to get paid, you gonna get cooked. When Baker finally get his big boy money, it's gonna be nice.
It's just the market. That's all I'm saying. That's how they get paid.
Is it right? But are we supposed to, because he's getting that money, make it right?
The same way quarterbacks shouldn't get all the praise. It's not right.
So why do we do it?
Why are you ranking?
Why are you doing it?
But that's the way it is. The same way these niggas is getting paid.
But if you know it's wrong, why are you basing that with your logic?
Just because something is that way doesn't mean you should believe it.
So look, right? So look, this is the last thing I say so we can move on because we still got to do this tier list. Plus, we still got to talk about some more other things that I got to address Mel about. So here's my thing. I just feel like when it comes to just like ranking players in general, I think the most thing that has to matter is basically the skill set because we looking at these guys that have crazy productions. We're looking at guys who got Super Bowl, depending on we're talking about quarterbacks who got the Super Bowl quarterback rings. Everything is so context based. To where, for example, I don't think skill set wise, Jalen Hurts can even reach Lamar Jackson's jockstrap. I don't think they're close. So I'm always going to lean towards Lamar Jackson's the better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. Now, when you get down the road like Jalen Hurts versus Jared Goff, yeah, I'm taking Jalen Hurts.
Listen, Trent. Do you know who you just compared him to?
I know.
Jared Goff is the 16th, 15th best quarterback in the league. You said Jalen Hurts is top 5 to 6. That's not even a conversation.
I don't think he's top 5, top 6. I think he's like top 8, 9, like 10.
He has no cover.
8 through 10ish. 8 through 10ish. I think you can say there are 6 quarterbacks that are still definitively better than Jalen Hurts. But just because I don't think just because he got
who your 2 that he like you say 8 who the 2 I don't want to keep making people do it.
I think Jalen Hurts is in the same realm with like Jordan Love, and I think Jordan because the only reason if Jordan Love it was actually more consistent than what he is, I think he clear Jalen Hurts.
No, that's the problem.
He will really clear Jalen Hurts, but Jordan Love
is like he's not Brett Favre. He got
the same.
Jordan's net.
But did I argue that Jordan Love ain't got no more either? What happened to give Jordan the same thing?
I just got one more question for the stat. For the stat.
Jalen Hurts does better than Kyler Murray.
Before we move on, I just want to ask a stat.
Why is he? But Trent, can we admit? It is easier to be consistent when you're playing on an elite team than when you're not playing on an elite team.
Yeah, and that's why I said, Young, I'm so 50-50 on one of the guys.
I get Jordan Love because I think Jordan Love's team is really good. Kyler Murray's playing with trash.
Hey, Trent, you said Hurts is top 8.
As a Cardinal fan, you are right, Jan. That's
like
team
eight. Hurts is like eight.
It is Kyler, Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride making magic.
Trent,
and
after next year, a nigga like Caleb gonna be.
I ain't gonna lie, but I'm not gonna lie, Donnie. You came in. I ain't trying to hear that shit with you, Kyler.
Yeah, you walked.
I'm disagreeing with him that the team is dog shit.
I'm not hearing what I'm not. No, because the way you switched up after you just said Kyler Murray cleared Jalen Hurts a couple months ago to now Jalen Hurts better than him, you stay on that side.
They're in the same tier.
I just got one question for the stat nerds.
They're in the same tier. That's my opinion.
I just got one question for the stat nerds because it's just nasty, bro. So when y'all said Saquon Barkley saved them all season, did he save him?
We ain't say all season.
I'm talking
we didn't say all season.
Y'all did. We gonna rewind it back.
No, we
did.
No, we did.
Anyway, did he save them versus Cleveland?
That Cleveland was
no.
That was the only game he got really
Did he save them versus Dallas? Did he save them versus Pittsburgh? What about the two losses they had? Did he save them versus Atlanta? Did he save them versus Tampa?
He saved them more times than Jalen Hurts saved them. I'll tell you that.
I don't know because if we go back
but time out though, this is where I get on your ass because you got to give me tight because them games they were losing to outside of the Falcons game because Saquon dropped that ball. That Bucks game when he ain't have nobody, he looked terrible. Jalen Hurts looked terrible. So don't do that either. Like you can't do that, bro. Like you want to add context to Saquon Barkley, you can talk about Jalen Hurts play too though. So don't do that either. That's all I'm saying. Don't do that. It has to go both ways, man. You can't do that.
I mean, and don't act like the Bucks didn't have a good defense.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie.
Whoa.
No, we did not.
No, they had a good game plan.
Yeah, one of the worst.
The defense that allowed Kirk Cousins to throw for 500
We
yards.
talking about like Jamel Dean or something?
That's not what I'm talking about.
Everyone slow down.
Yeah, Trey, we don't Trey, we are not about to talk about the Bucks defense. We suck. Cool. We move on.
I'm not talking about just that game plan. All right, bro.
You can't. It's
a week to week basis.
No.
It's a week to week basis, bro. They had a good.
Donnie would have said somebody like that for Justin Herbert. Somebody do that for Jordan. You're not hearing that shit. We're not hearing that for Jalen Hurts. He better than Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, right? Get over it. That's what y'all be saying. Y'all need the results, right? Get over it. Get the job done. I'm not trying to hear that shit, bro. I'm not because in 2023 when he had to deal with a bad OC. Bad play calling, people getting injured.
Y'all gave all the excuses.
He looked pedestrian. He didn't look like the top 5 guy that people be saying.
Y'all gave him excuses last year. Y'all was killing Nick Sirianni. Y'all was a Super Bowl winning coach. Do we praise him?
Did he not go to the
playoffs?
Did he not go to the playoffs?
Do you not remember that?
They went to the playoffs though, right? Where they lost to Brady.
Do you not understand when they went? Okay, they lost 6 games in a row after everybody started getting injured. Did you not understand that?
He still got him to the playoffs.
Yeah,
they were already up so many games, though, man.
Because of who?
So Trent,
why was they up so many games?
Bama, that's why I say I'm 50-50 on this. Was Jalen Hurts in 2023 when they was winning them games, when everybody was still playing, when they were winning because Jalen Hurts was brought ball in the fourth quarter? Yes. All people were saying though is when the injuries started lingering, you still had the bad OC, like with the Justin Herberts of the world that had bad OC, bad defense, bad play calling. He looked pedestrian in the playoffs, did he not?
Yeah, no, everybody, and I think we can all agree that pretty much every quarterback, if you lose shit and you got bad play calling, you're gonna look like some garbage.
Exactly.
It just is what it is. That's just
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that at all.
I don't agree with that.
I don't get that at all. I watched Josh Allen lose a lot of shit last year and cook. I don't believe
Matthew
that, bro.
Stafford in Detroit was dealing with it, and nobody said he looked like garbage. He was elite still.
No, I'm not.
Josh Allen did not have anything going for him last year. He was elite still. We have talked about Lamar Jackson not having anything go for him. He still looks elite. So, no, I'm not giving that.
That's Mahomes. No receivers. Your number one being beat up D-Hop. Come on, man.
The mid-tier
So
guys.
none of those
O-line being bad.
Where Jalen Hurts should be ranked at.
Those quarterbacks have bad games.
Guys, yes.
Yo.
Kyler Murray still has looked good. He's looked great, and he has not had all of that.
Do you know why Josh Allen looks elite still? Like, you don't remember when they first developed? Like, they developed him. He came into the league. He was shitty. Then they got Dable.
Then they got after that. Then that's when they did the D. So they developed him to what we see now, which what the Philly is doing with Hurts.
So I can ask a question. Did Josh Allen look elite against the Texans last year?
Nah, he went out for 30.
No.
We're talking about one game.
Who's talking about one game?
So
no, we're not talking about. No.
So Josh Allen's only had we can run him down.
No, Josh Allen. No.
I'm talking about.
Hey, bro, I know you're not about to run games down on Josh Allen. All right.
Hold on.
That's what you're doing. That's what we're doing. What I said was we can look at every quarterback and they look like some shit.
But Mel, this is my thing though, and so we can move on. I think we need to have a medium, like when it comes to Jalen Hurts specifically, because winning can't be the end all be all for him. Because we talking about just as a quarterback, he's not top 5 at all.
Okay, so that's what I said. When we first started this, I said, "Are we? Where is the? How are we?
Winning, he's not top 5.
I think we're talking about talent. If we're talking about talent as a quarterback, you're 100% correct.
If you factor in winning, he still has no case of top 5.
All I'm saying is I think winning and what's his name skill set has to matter, because Matthew Stafford was elite when Stafford was still a dog in 2021 when he won. I swear to God, I never heard nobody say Matthew Stafford was top 10 quarterback. Nobody ever said Matthew Stafford was better than Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. That was because I was the top, or even Aaron Rodgers. Nobody was saying that.
Because
the only people who saying better.
But as a talent, is Matthew Stafford a better quarterback as a talent?
As a winner, he's better too. I don't want to hear it.
Is he better than who?
Every aspect of football,
Matthew. Time out, Mel. Is he better than who? Wait, hold on. Let him finish the question. Mel, what?
I'm just saying, as a talent, is Matthew Stafford a better quarterback than Tom Brady?
Yes.
Thank you.
As a talent.
That's not what I'm saying.
Time out. No, there's difference. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about who is the better quarterback. Matthew Stafford is not better than Tom Brady.
No. But listen, yes, because we had.
You want to talk about talent? I'm not talking about talent.
No, I know that. That's what I'm saying. I know that. That's what I'm saying. I was like, we're gonna take talent and what happens in game, all of those things. Because if you're
what you do with that talent, not what your team does. What you do with your talent. Jalen Hurts can win a lot of games, and his talent just be handing the football off. Not even trying to disrespect him.
Okay,
but Jalen Hurts won 2 playoff games.
So skilled.
Even the same thing about Tom Brady. This is my big thing.
There's no way you tell me a quarterback plays 16 games and gives you 18-5. Damn, the rushing touchdown that Saquon got him down there most of the time. That's nasty. That's nasty.
I might give y'all arm talent with Brady, but
Tom Brady is talented. But he has legitimately won Super Bowls. He has won Super Bowls on the back of other people. And that's fine.
Man, that's all I'm saying. So this is hold on. I just think this needs to be a medium in rankings, regardless whoever the player is. It needs to have a medium. That's just how I view it. But to move it on though, because we still about to have a lot of arguing to do. Because Mel, we've obviously argued this on TikTok before, even on From the Sideline. You gotta tell the people, because it's funny.
I'm not talking about Revis.
Now you're not talking. Okay, we don't got to talk about
that's what. No, okay. No, I'm just fucking with you. You know what I mean.
Okay, fine, cool. It's crazy. It's ironic. Last episode said Julio Jones is not top 10.
Right.
He getting killed. 85. He getting demolished. So
no. I didn't say
the real was no. The real was no.
So man, I want you to tell the people and tell me the 10 receivers that are better than Calvin Johnson.
That are better than Calvin Johnson?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Wait.
Now, like I said, because we always have this conversation, and I always have to preface this shit in the beginning. Are we talking talent or are we talking production that they had during their careers in the NFL?
Overall, when you combine the talent, you want to combine it don't matter. Who do you think are the 10 receivers that are better than Calvin Johnson?
All right, let me go so I don't want to contradict myself.
And nobody cut him off. We can argue about this after he finished the 10.
So we already know Jerry Rice. Hold on. I gotta pull my list up. See, if you'd have told me this is what we was gonna do, and I'd have my list ready.
My fault.
Before you go, Mel, do you have an Instagram?
Yeah, he do.
Yeah.
I would just prepare for your DMs to be flooded. Let's just let you know that right now.
I answer everybody. Just so y'all, I answer everybody. That's not even. I don't even care about that.
Well, it's a hard when it's 100,000 people.
It does get fun. I will say it does.
It's hard when it's 100,000 people.
All right, so we're doing 10 receivers better than Calvin Johnson.
Bingo. Yes, sir.
Okay. Jerry Rice, Larry Fitzgerald,
Okay.
Terrell Owens, Randy Moss.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll get real nasty. I'll throw Andre Johnson in there right now.
Out of here.
I ain't with you right there.
That's crazy.
No,
I love Andre.
I follow Andre. But
Okay, keep going.
Keep going.
Tim
Keep
Brown.
going. Hold on. Keep going. Who?
Tim Brown.
Out your mind. Keep going.
I'm not mad.
Steve Smith Sr.
Out your mind. Keep going though. Out your
No.
mind.
Okay, look, we'll freeze it. Marvin Harrison.
Out your mind. Keep going.
No, I'm Marvin. I'll give you Tim, not Marvin.
Marvin Harrison, Chris Carter.
No. Hell no. Keep going.
I don't
Keep
know.
going. Who last?
Hell no.
Yes,
no.
exactly that. Hell no. Fucking
So
no.
who the 10?
Okay, where am I right now?
You're
You got
9.
nine. You got one more.
I got one more.
Mm-hmm.
Who did I say?
Isaac Bruce.
I didn't say Isaac Bruce.
No, you did it.
And you better not say it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, can I go? Can I go?
Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm stressed after this. Here's why. As somebody who watched Calvin's entire career, but also kind of slept on him a little bit.
Okay.
Once he kind of left the game, I get where you coming from. I guess the only reason why I'm stressed now is because I had one of his former teammates literally sit me down and pull up this man's practice film.
I don't have practice ain't got shit to do what he did in his career. No, that's why I asked the question before we did this. This is why I asked the question.
So here's my thing, right?
What was running them routes?
Hold on, wait.
Go ahead.
I bring up the practice film and the game tape because the one thing that everybody likes to knock him for is, yes, highly productive all throughout his career. But once we start ranking the guys, specifically receivers, for us up here, we're talking about skill set. We're talking about what they put on film, the actual ability to play the position.
I asked the question before we started this.
Well, here's what I'll say. For me, the criteria when we are talking about best receivers of all time, it is a combination of your ability to actually play the game at a high level, actually what you put on tape. Like, I can see you bending at the top of the route. I can see you separating in ways that other guys can't. Your ability to catch the ball. Like those type, like the finer nuances of route running, like that type of stuff. And then on top of that, then we start to get into the actual production of things. The reason why I'm looking at you crazy right now saying that there's 10 guys ahead of him is because if we're talking about the actual like
game of football,
the game of football, like damn the production. Like we ain't
Damn the production.
Hold on. We ain't even got to get to the production yet. Hold on. This is what I'm saying. We don't even have to get to the production yet because the anomaly here is that we're talking about a guy who's 6'5", damn near 6'6",
245,
240, running 4.38, but he's bending at the top of the route like he's Marvin Harrison size.
But to piggyback off that,
you like the way he looked? Or the way he played football?
Time out.
Hold on, everyone chill out. We're talking about somebody who is not only productive in a way that we've almost like we haven't seen in recent memory. We're also talking about a physical anomaly that can only be rivaled by Randy Moss. That is it. And if we're being honest, he's probably more of a freak than Randy because
Definitely.
he's the size of a damn tight end and just as fast as him. And he's been just as well. He's the same route runner.
He ain't just as fast as 4.24. Please stop it. That's 4.3 and 4.24, not the same thing, Trey.
He's
not even close to the same
at
thing.
6'4", 45, bro.
Hold on, wait. Hold on. You know what? Early, you're right. I'm so sorry. Forgive me and forgive Calvin for being a tenth slower while being 40 pounds heavy.
Like, yeah, come on, bro. Like,
that is insane.
You can control your weight, though. I'll get nasty.
That is an
Oh, you can say I get real nasty.
Hey,
y'all
nigga.
being boxed. You being a box because you just came from Bo Jackson, fam. Stop it.
Hold on, wait.
Because Bo still ran a 4.2 at 240.
Hey,
240.
He's not built nowhere near like Calvin Johnson. He's not built nowhere near like Calvin Johnson. So
man, you fucking right. He even more of an action figure.
Calvin out there looking like a goddamn niggas is miles there running a
I think Bo Jackson jumped higher than Calvin Johnson too.
Come on, bro. Yo,
nobody believe that shit.
Look, I'm gonna say
Randy does.
Hold on. At the end of the day, the combination of his actual physical ability, the skill, like the actual skill set to play the position, and this man's production, the combination of all three, I'm sorry, there aren't 10 receivers that are better than him.
There's not
They're
6.
damn near ain't 5.
But Trey, I don't agree, Trey. But we're not talking about what you've seen. We talk all time. Like, do y'all know what all time means? That's why y'all kind of mix me up at. Because we ain't talking about who you like. We mean all time mean numbers, my boy. Numbers.
This is my problem, and that's why I say
the numbers not there.
We need to have a mediator because yes, you want to say these guys have like Tim Brown. He had a longer career than Calvin Johnson. Obviously, yeah, because Calvin retired.
It was hella productive too.
Yeah, and it was okay, but so was Calvin Johnson's. And when you watch them, what did Tim Brown do better than Calvin Johnson? Nothing. He ain't do shit. Do better than him. Because the same thing. We test Calvin Johnson. I don't hear nobody do that for Barry Sanders.
But see, that's why I don't. This is why I don't tax Calvin because Calvin quit at 29 just like Barry. Because Calvin quit at 29 just like Barry, and the numbers are crazy. Barry's numbers are crazy at 29.
You said what?
Barry's numbers are crazy at 29, though.
Okay, so Calvin Johnson numbers aren't crazy at 29.
I agree. Y'all know it's Julio for me. It's not Calvin for me. It's Julio for me.
Calvin Johnson numbers when he did in 10 years are insane.
And Barry numbers when he did in 10 years are even more insane.
Okay, Bama.
So then, with that being,
you say what, Trent?
Do you not understand what I'm saying?
No, listen. Because what you're saying is why we don't tax Barry Sanders, because Barry Sanders still have numbers that niggas couldn't even do in 12, 15.
Hey, who was
broke? Nigga?
No. So
who broke Calvin's?
Are you talking about from an all-time perspective?
Yes, bro, from the all-time perspective.
Who are you
talking about?
Who are you talking about?
What Early is talking about?
Who are you talking
look at Barry's numbers, even though Barry, listen to what I'm saying. Let me slow down. Because what Early said was when we're talking about all time, you have to factor all the numbers up in there. So that's how we got to this. Calvin Johnson has 11,000 yards. So when you think about it all time, you finna see niggas like Tim Brown, 14.
You about to prove about
chill. You finna see numbers in there way higher than Calvin Johnson's.
Right.
But when you look at Barry's numbers with him having 15K yards, plus touchdown. You got guys.
Nigga, Frank Gore had to play for 16, 17 seasons.
My point exactly. My point exactly. It's guys in there. It's guys in there where when you look at their numbers, it's like, damn,
you know who got more rushing yards than Barry Sanders?
What?
You know who got more rushing yards than Barry Sanders?
Should be Sweetness.
Frank Gore. When you look at who's the better running back, he can't wear his shot strap. That's my point between Tim Brown and Calvin Johnson.
No, but can I get a clip? You was just talking about this. Didn't I just say it's guys in there that has played almost 20 years, and when you look at their yards, they're still Barry's numbers are way
right
closer.
there with Barry Sanders and rushing yards.
No, he's not. Barry got 3K
right
more.
With him, bro.
No, he's not.
With him.
AP got 12K rushing yards, bro, and I love
AP has 14,000. What are you talking about?
All right, watch this.
Oh, all right. Fuck out of here. What are you talking about?
No. I mean, when we're talking about these guys at their best, though, Tim Brown had like 10 really productive years. Calvin Johnson played 9 years, and 8 of them were really damn productive. We're talking about 2 years.
And you said really damn productive?
Yes. Tim Brown played 17 years. Throughout his first 5 years in the league, 725 yards, 8 yards, 265, 554, 693. And then he finally hits 1K in year 5.
So,
and then you look at the back end of his career. The last 3 years of his career, he had 930. Then the last 2, he don't got more than 600. Calvin Johnson.
But Matty, he hit 1,000 yards in his 4th or 5th year, and he don't look back for 10, 11 years. He's straight 1,000 yards.
So
knocking him down.
So we can say Calvin Johnson for 3 years.
3?
No. Just listen, because he said But I want to use the word. What did you say? He had outstanding years.
I said very productive years. And
very productive. So 2011, 2012, 2013 would be very productive.
No, 2008, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013.
Okay, so 12
and 2009 he got hurt.
2009 he just got hurt. He got hurt in 2009. I'm not being nasty and taxing him for not.
So 1,100 yards is very productive.
He still had 960
in 8 games. No.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Wait, whoa.
In 8 games where?
What season did Calvin Johnson play 8 games?
And what 8 games are you talking about?
No. He didn't play 8 games. No, in 2009 he got hurt. He played 14. He played 14.
There we go.
He played 14 and he barely missed 1K. I'm not taxing him for not getting 1K.
I'm not gonna lie, he still had a really great year. If we do it, but if y'all want to tax it, fine. But 08, 10, 11, 08 till he retired, they were all elite years.
So then, so then I'll throw another name in. That's what we're gonna do in Antonio Brown.
AB, they're right there. I think Calvin's better than AB, but they're right there. They're right there. Yeah. AB's top 5. They're right there.
AB had one of the sickest 6-year runs.
I'm just saying from my perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
Skill wise, you can have the conversation. When you look at Chris Carter and Calvin Johnson, you can't have that conversation. I'm sorry. You can't.
Chris Carter's not in the conversation.
No.
Why not though?
Calvin Johnson.
Why not?
Steve Smith has not no right to be in this conversation.
Steve Smith not over jealous.
And I love Steve Smith.
Steve not over jealous. Hey man, how old are you niggas on this panel, man? Y'all being nasty.
5'9".
Doing the dude shit on people, man.
Stop doing the A shit. Niggas know me and Trey are coach kids.
Chris Carter, the 3rd best Vikings receiver. Shit.
Chris Carter as a wide receiver.
You can be coach's kids and still be nasty.
Calvin Johnson. Please give it a break. Steve Smith is closer to Chad Johnson than he is to Calvin Johnson.
Nigga fake done better than Chad.
Stop this.
Hold on.
He is better than Chad.
But if we're gonna talk about never mind.
Okay. Fucking mouth.
Hey, man, you don't watch my mouth.
No, I'm talking.
No, he talking to me. He talking to me.
What did I say?
It was nasty. We just keep going.
It was great, bro. You just don't even listen.
Here's my thing, Mel. I only put Calvin Johnson in my top 10, top 5 is because I look at Calvin Johnson, somebody who said, "Dog, I'm tired of losing. I'm walking from the game." And even before that, his numbers are crazy. So I look at Calvin literally. He's like, why I don't fuck with Julio? Because Julio, your body broke down on you, nigga. Like Calvin body didn't break down on him. If Calvin plays 4 more years, he's 15,000 yards.
How do you mess with Julio? But how do you not mess with Julio? But you rock with Calvin Johnson.
Why do you have Julio? They have 8 great years as well. Like what the?
Make that make sense.
Like
so Marvin Harrison's not in there
because Calvin in his short period of time was more productive than Julio Jones to me.
That's not gonna lie. Julio's peak
in a worse situation,
bro. They literally, bro. I don't know if you realize this or not, but him and AB, for that 7-year stretch,
was bad for bad and
They literally were putting up godlike numbers, 7, 8 years. Calvin Johnson, his best years are 8 years. So you trying to, I don't mess with Julio, but I rock with AB and I rock with Calvin Johnson. Don't make no sense.
So what's Trent? Let me get you out the way there. So what's godlike to you?
But Calvin Johnson, go ahead.
What's godlike to you, Trent? When you say godlike, what's godlike to you?
Okay, so for Julio, for 8 years, I think for almost 8 years straight, Julio literally didn't put up. He put up 1,300 yards and more. That's godlike.
That's godlike.
That is
godlike. That's godlike.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on.
Does it matter who he? Does it matter who?
But talking about numbers aren't the only thing I'm having this case argument too, though. Numbers aren't the only thing. Because skill-wise, Julio is up there with the best of them. And that's a fact. It's not an opinion. It's a fact. Skill-wise,
situation.
You bring up guys like Tim Brown. Tim Brown, I'll literally ask you a question right now. What does Tim Brown do better than Julio Jones? You're going to be stumbling. Trent, God
like let's stay on God like numbers. Let's stay on God like numbers. So is 115 receptions for 1,600 yards, 12 TDs God like numbers? What about 102 for 1,500 and 14 touchdowns? What about 143 catches for 1,700 yards and 13 touchdowns?
Yes.
What about 109 for 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns?
Going crazy.
So why are we poo-pooing Marvin Harrison?
But you can still watch out with Julio. That's the point.
Hold on. You talking about early. Hold on, Trent. Hey, Trent. Hold on, Trent.
Hold on. But see, Mel got on your ass earlier about that shit. You listen to one thing and just take off with it. I said there is a mediator. You have to talk about two things, not just stats.
Hold on, Trent.
I'm not because you like the nigga in his prime for a couple years does not make him an all-time great when it comes to numbers.
Early being sick as hell right now.
But it's not. You know what's bro? Early, you are so funny, bro. Like again, you only harping on one point when I just said you're gonna be stumbling on your words when you be saying, "What does Marvin Harrison do better than Julio Jones?" You're gonna be stumbling, or you're gonna be lying.
Hey, Trent, ain't gonna bro.
You're gonna be stumbling.
Hold up, Trent. You know what's so funny to me, right? This was so funny to me, right? I look at a guy like Julio, right? 6'3", 6'4", 230, right? Running 4.3, right?
Mm-hmm.
A guy that even if I saw this nigga in the Walmart, I'd be like, and I didn't know who he was, I'd be like, you play ball? You got a physique on you, slim, you big. I look at somebody like Marvin Harrison, 5'11", 6 foot, 185 pounds soaking wet, 175 pounds soaking wet. But I might see him in Walmart and say, hey, excuse me, man, I'm trying to get to the milk.
Crazy?
Like, that means something to me. For you to be that little and that productive, like, I actually applaud that more.
But Young, this is what I be saying early being a bot. You was just getting on trade for talk about how Calvin Johnson's built like an edge rusher playing wide receiver, and now you trying to glaze that. You seeing a skinny receiver play football? That's what we're doing.
No, I didn't.
You was just talking about trade with Bill.
I didn't know.
I didn't. If that's the case,
no. What I said was, my difference between one and the other is because one played for 9 to 10 years and stopped playing football. But if he kept playing football, we know what he could have done. One literally tapped out. Another one had the years but didn't produce. How does a nigga who played 9 years and a nigga who played for 14 years, how does he have almost 20 more touchdowns a year?
What are you talking about?
Bro, you're not, bro, come on. You know
again, I'm going to say it again. Just because you get more touchdowns, don't make you better.
I don't know the context. Tell me the context, Durag.
Just because you get, okay, but we're early.
Fuck out of here. 66 touchdowns in 12, 13 years. I don't know the context.
But here's the thing. This is why I be signing with Bama, because early you a pro football reference merchant. You just
I'm not a pro football reference merchant. But
because
I actually watch niggas play. I'm 31 though, Trent. I actually watch niggas play.
You Stevie Wonder. You got bad eyes.
I don't have bad eyes. I don't have bad eyes.
It is
because every other nigga who's a physical physique, the Larrys, the TOs, the Calvin Johnson, have at least 80 touchdowns, my nigga. So what's your excuse?
Touchdowns ain't the end all be all. He still has.
You rather have yards or touchdowns, my nigga. You rather have yards or touchdowns. You rather have an 1,800 yard 8 TD season or 1,400 yard 17 TD season.
But did you see who the guys you named?
They're on the top 5. That's Chris Carter numbers.
Like you
1,400 yards, 17 touchdowns a year.
Now I'm gonna ask you again. Earl, I'm gonna ask you again. What does Chris Carter do better than Julio Jones?
He got better hands than Julio Jones. He had better red zone.
You kept like crazy.
And he had better red zone threat.
He got better hands than Julio.
Wait, you said Chris Carter's a better red zone threat?
A better red zone threat?
As a nigga who literally got dog. He has Julio's career in 6 years. He has those 66 touchdowns in 6 years. What are we talking about, bro?
If a nigga seeing 2 to 3 niggas in the red zone every time, that's a better red zone threat. I'm sorry.
He has better hands than Julio. Keep going early. No, keep going.
Better red zone threat. I just said it.
Well, now what else? What else?
More productive.
Yeah, look, stat merchant. You can't talk about the skill set because he
got. But how am I a stat merchant? Because I don't think. Because listen, you think it though. I don't think Julio runs better routes. I don't think Julio runs better routes than Chris Carter. Every nigga can argue me, but he don't run better routes than Chris Carter.
Now hold on, my fault. Because early is sad. Yo, early. You can. I can watch this.
He's not a better route runner than Chris Carter.
My point. Yo, what does Baker Mayfield do better than Jalen Hurts?
Oh, but you know that's a lot of things, though. It's a lot of things, though. It's a lot of things. Everything. He does everything better, but be a mobile quarterback.
Wait, no, time out.
Everything else he's better at.
Include everything. Talk about it, right? The accuracy, ball placement,
the presence in the pocket,
right?
His percentage against the pressure, everything, nigga.
Everything, right?
But okay, now, I guess
you see how you can name a multitude of things. You can't name a multitude of things of why Chris Carter is better than Julio. As a football player,
I gave you 3 things. I think he's a better route runner, a better red zone threat, and better hands.
You just named 6 things on why Baker Mayfield is better than Jalen Hurts. Do the same for Chris Carter and Julio. But wait, you can't.
Okay, but what does Julio? My thing is this: when you say Julio better than Chris Carter, right? Okay, cool. Y'all biggest gripe is y'all talk about how athletic and fast he was. Y'all niggas think he better route runner, but I don't see it. Y'all talk about his ability to catch in traffic. If I think a nigga has better hands than another nigga, then no. Chris Carter catching traffic better than Julio Jones to me.
Here's the issue though. Julio still has elite hands, one of the best contested catches in the game. His route running clears Chris Carter. Shit is not even.
You hear this? How does his route running clear Chris Carter?
I'm not gonna lie.
He gets out of his breaks.
If you want to get the nitty gritty about route running, and you're about to talk to me about Chris Carter, I'm gonna jump
Chris
through my
Carter has some of the best footwork a receiver ever had in the NFL. Dog, what are we talking about?
And also too, another thing that Chris Carter does not have that's even close to Julio Jones: the yards after catch ability, the big play ability. What the fuck? That's not even.
Hey, listen, okay, look. And with all that big playability, you couldn't give me more than 10 touchdowns in 1 and 2
But
seasons.
here's the thing, though.
With all that big playability, but my nigga in the red zone get busy. 17 touchdowns, 15 touchdowns, 13 touchdowns, 14 touchdowns. Back to back. We working them up. 17 touchdowns, 15 touchdowns, 14 touchdowns. Before Randy Moss got there by himself.
Hey, but Young, you see where the stat watch you go. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Julio couldn't get 2 more touchdowns to get 10. He had 8. Oh my gosh, it's a big fucking difference. Shut up, bro.
Hey, Mel. You telling me, Mel, 17 touchdowns and 8 touchdowns don't fucking matter, Mel? That's the difference when it's winning games.
17, nigga, damn.
You said
I put more points on the board for my team, nigga.
If my player is still giving me 1,800 yards and 8 TDs, I don't care.
That's unfair. I don't give a fuck.
1,800 yards? What are you talking about?
So again, I ask you, do-rag. Would you rather have 1,400 yards and 17 touchdowns or 1,800 yards and 8 touchdowns? What season as a receiver is more productive for you?
So peak Jetters or peak Terry McLaurin? That's what you're telling me. That's what you're telling me right now.
Do-rag, I asked you a question.
That's what you're telling me, though. Peak Jetters at 1,800 yards, peak Terry McLaurin, he went for 1,100, 14 touchdowns. That's what you're telling me.
But what do you rather have
like 18
as a receiver? What is more productive as a receiver?
1,800? But look, you be asking them questions.
All them yards, my nigga, but you couldn't get in the end zone? Come on, y'all.
Here's the thing.
Wait.
You would rather have 400 more yards than fucking 9 more touchdowns?
Because it depends on what.
Wait, do you think Mark Clayton peaked higher than Julio?
Say who?
Do you think Mark Clayton peaked higher than Julio when he put 1,400 and 18 touchdowns?
He got more touchdowns than them. Oh man, he might be a combo. He got more touchdowns.
How many touchdowns you said?
He had like what? 18?
Yeah, 18. 18. And he had.
We're not talking about one. We're not talking about for one season though. We're talking about for multiple seasons though, Donnie. Your peak is not one season. Julio, I've said this many times, guys. Julio is a top 3 peak receiver. Yes, I give you that shit. But when we say all time and we putting up stats on the board and we putting up productivity on the board, he's not there.
If that's the case, then hold on. If that's the case, then Calvin Johnson, you're not in the top 10. You can co-sign with Mel. You can co-sign with him. But hold on, but Mel, that's why I say I'm glad Mel's here.
I put Calvin there.
You standing on that shit though. I can respect it. You saying Calvin Johnson's top 10 and Julio and him, you compare his numbers and they all.
But I put Calvin there though. I put Calvin there.
No, you don't. Wait,
Calvin top 4 for me. Top 4, top 5.
How is he top 4 and he don't got the numbers you keep spewing?
Cause he's still 12,000 yards, 81 touchdowns in a 9-year span.
My perspective, it doesn't matter, right?
So how does a nigga, but Trent, how does a nigga literally play 14 years, 13, 12, 13, 14 years?
And he got hurt. Injuries happen all the time. Just
So
like how
you don't think stopping playing football and getting hurt are two different things?
But this is the funniest part, though. You doing all this for Julio, right? And saying his numbers don't match up, this and that. You know that's going to be the same thing for Antonio Brown, right? But you still got him top 10 already, right? And it still is to this day for Antonio Brown. Yards.
But listen, a couple of them niggas. Listen, it's a problem. I'm gonna be real with you. It's probably there's only about 5 niggas in the top 10 who gonna stay there for a very long time. A lot of these niggas about to get about the way once these new niggas come around with these 17, 18 games. But I'm looking at Julio. I'm saying, okay, Julio. We talk about all-time list: 16th in yards, 27th in receptions, 63rd in TDs, 203rd in yards per reception. That ain't nothing top 10 about that to me. Not when you got niggas like T.O. with the amount of yards he got and the TDs, Randy, Jerry, like I said, Larry up there. It's certain niggas gonna be there for a long time. When Judges come along and Jamar Chase come along, you're right. A lot of them niggas gonna get moved out the spot because them boys got 2 more games. That shit about to go crazy.
So, Milk, you do me a favor? Because I don't know if you're looking at the catches. I want you to go down the line. Where does Antonio Brown rank in catches?
In catches, let's see.
Where does he rank at? Where does he rank at? Is he even top 20?
In catches?
Yeah.
Antonio Brown? No.
Mm-hmm. No, right? Cool.
He's 25th.
Hold on. Is he even top 20 in receiving yards?
26th in receiving yards.
26, right? And then, let's see with touchdowns. Where does he end up in touchdowns?
Antonio Brown, 26.
Does that sound all-time great to you?
Playing less seasons is better.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, when Calvin Johnson is worse than all of them.
Mel, I agree with you. He's not doing that.
Maybe I just like Calvin. He was a good guy and he put up numbers. Maybe I'm just not going. I'm not going to do it to Calvin.
When was Julio a bad guy? Julio was the most quiet wide receiver of all time.
Example why he don't die on hill on numbers.
No, but Donnie, he played for the Falcons.
You just named all them sets that Julio.
I guess. Shout out Carolina.
But But Trent, also for me, Trent, it's the same reason why I put Andre over him. I look at situations too.
I'm not done. Come on. You just named all these stats on why Julio not in the top 15. That don't sound all-time great to me. They sound like AB bought worse than Julio in them stats. And you got to be a top 10.
If Julio had 100 touchdowns.
You can't use the situation for AB because he had Le'Veon and Big Ben with him. So you can't do that with AB. So if Julio Jones is not top 10, so is
Julio.
AB.
Julio had years of Malcolm Turner. Julio had years of Rodney White. Why are we doing that? And he had an MVP quarterback. And he had an MVP quarterback. How many MVPs Bill Roethlisberger win?
Do your research. No. Hold on. Do your research. Michael Turner's prime is 08, 09. Do your research.
Yeah. So all right. If the conversation about the greatest wide receiver, I'm gonna be nasty right now. So I'm going into the intention with this.
Cool.
So we're talking about speed, route running, catching.
Yeah.
All of those things, right?
Yeah.
Then Odell Beckham should at least be top 3, right?
Man, I don't think there's 10 receivers better than Odell. We talking about who's the better receiver. I don't think there's 10.
But are we just saying who like has everything? Because that's a different conversation.
This is one.
Who just had everything? Even if they did it for like 4 seasons. Who had everything?
The conversation
is different. I have a whole different listening.
Yeah, if the conversation is about talent, if it's about talent,
I have a whole different list.
You can't name 2 wide receivers better than Odell Beckham.
Yeah. If it's just about talent, then I have a whole different list.
Yeah, Odell got
Julio definitely top 5 in talent. All day.
No. I'm not. But see, like I said, Mel, I'm not talking about talent. I'm just talking about the better wide receiver. That's all I'm saying.
So you keep saying that? What does that entail, Trent?
Okay,
is it talent? Is it numbers? What is it? Peak? What does it entail?
I don't think he'll be top 3. I think Odell will be top 10. We talking about hands, the routes, the yards of the catchability. You as a separator, your deep threat ability, your big playability. There's not 10 receivers better than Odell. Just like in this combo, there's not 10 receivers better than AB nor Julio in the same conversation.
But I guess, but that's why I guess we're having two different conversations.
We are, man.
But here's the thing, though. Early's not being consistent because he loves to throw the numbers at the Julio, and he went all down the rim where he ranks at. You do the same thing with Antonio Brown. Oh, he's still top 10. That don't make any sense. And you can't use the situation.
But I'm not. You know what? Though I can get Antonio Brown the fuck out of there for Isaac Bruce any day of the week, and I'd be just fine with that. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, like.
But see, that's you being a bot. Isaac Bruce, bro. And then y'all make me look like I'm the bad guy in the older players. He's not.
But why is Isaac Bruce so bad? Like, what do you mean when you say that?
But you mean a dude?
Trent wants to be wild. Trent wants the big booty and the nice titties and all that. He wants to be wild. He wants to be wild. He don't care nothing about the intangibles of it. He want to be wild. Oh my God. Look at it. Look what it looks like. Ooh, look at it.
Isaac Bruce does nothing better than Antonio Brown between the lines.
But we're not. I get. That's why I asked in the beginning. Are we talking about what they did in? Because if we're talking all time, we're talking about what they did during their career.
That's how y'all
are. They so nasty, Bama.
Mel, I haven't been talking because I don't care about stats. I don't care about winning. I don't care about
Isaac Bruce with the gold chains.
I don't care. He can wear gold.
If we're not going to talk about
Bama, he's nasty, Bama.
So if we're taking stats off the table and we're just going off of pure.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. No, look. This is why I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. No, this is why I'm gonna tell you why I don't do stats.
No, I don't.
I'm gonna tell you why.
But no, I'm gonna let you cook for a second.
About are producing elite numbers. So why are we nitpicking 1,700 yards versus 1,600 yards?
You want to know why, Young?
No.
You want to know why, Young? You want to know why, Young? You want to know why, Young? Because it's a fucking sport, Young. It's a sport. If sports don't have stats, then fuck them. Who cares?
That's cool.
Because
like we talking about sports. We're talking about you as a man and all this other shit. What you do for the community? These are stats. Sports is about stats. You bet on stats. You win on stats. You go to Hall of Fame for stats. It's stats.
That's cool. I'm not disagreeing.
I don't do stats for sports. Well, stop watching it then, nigga.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. Early. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying. You can produce.
How good somebody is.
You can produce plenty of stats and not be better than somebody. Is that not true?
But like I said,
even the Hall of Fame goes off of stats. How many niggas in the Hall of Fame that don't have stats or winning?
But then we're having two.
I disagree with the Hall of Fame.
Listen, but we're having two different conversations. Then that's why I asked in the beginning: are we talking about them as players or them and what they did in their careers?
But if we're going to
know.
You're missing my point.
I think you and Early lean towards the stats too much.
But because I can separate. Because if you're going to ask me, Melvin, who is the illest wide receiver you've seen play football? I play wide receiver. Not Calvin Johnson. Chad Johnson would be on that list.
Yeah, he would be.
Jamar Chase is a fucking animal.
Nothing wrong with that.
But then
Andre Johnson.
Yeah, but we're talking. But yeah, but then we're talking about. But then we're having two different conversations.
But here's the thing, though. This is what I'm saying. Though I think that, and again,
did Chad Johnson? No, Trent. Did Chad Johnson for 8 years put up Julio Jones numbers?
No, but we're not talking about numbers, dog. We're not talking numbers. Remember?
I'm not talking.
Here's the thing, though. When you talk about skill, even Chad Johnson still Julio, though.
But Young just said he don't do numbers.
Why do I not do numbers? Why do I not do numbers? I can evaluate skill and say somebody's better than trying to say, 1,700 is better than 1,600, so he must be better.
Yes. So then don't bring up what Calvin Johnson did for 6 years.
Okay.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you.
What is Julio? This is back to the whole point. What does Calvin Johnson do better than Julio as far as everything about being a receiver?
If you're asking me who's the
No. I'm asking a simple question. When it says as far as being a good receiver, the skill set of a receiver, what does Calvin Johnson do better than Julio Jones? There are things.
He runs faster.
Catch touchdowns.
He doesn't run faster, but continue.
I mean, they're honestly, to me, they're neck and neck. They're the same nigga.
Catch touchdowns.
But they're not the same nigga. They're not.
So okay.
They're not the same.
So is Larry Fitzgerald the same as Chad Johnson then?
No, they're not the same.
Chad Johnson? Hell no.
They're not the same nigga.
Larry Fitzgerald is closer to the same player as Julio Jones.
As what? Calvin Johnson. Chad Johnson is a better route runner. Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
That's the same thing for Julio. That's the same thing for Larry Fitzgerald. That's all he does better.
That's an opinion based. Like I guess we're all.
Whoa. You saying Larry Fitzgerald?
What are you saying?
What are you saying between Larry Fitzgerald and Julio?
3 wide receiver at route running ever. Chad Johnson is a top 3 minimum route runner ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Julio Jones is not that. I don't need. That's not opinion. That's just watching the game.
But neither is Calvin Johnson.
Correct. So why would Calvin Johnson be better? So what else does Chad Johnson?
They're the same nigga.
What else does Chad Johnson do better than Julio Jones besides route running? He does nothing better.
After catch, I think I like Chad better.
Over who?
But he said Julio Jones.
Over Julio.
Clearly y'all love Julio Jones.
I don't even know.
Hey, Mel, that's all I'm saying, Mel. These niggas love Julio Jones. But, Mel, this is my thing, Mel, and I hate to be this guy, Mel. You 47 years old. I'm 31 years old. Nigga, this y'all LeBron. I know y'all watch Julio. Y'all watched them. You didn't. Trent, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I know you can watch film. I know you can watch YouTube, Trent. I know you're a coach's son, and you know I'm not going to disrespect your knowledge, your football knowledge. But, nigga, you were born in 02. You have no idea what Marvin Harrison was. You just don't.
I watched Marvin.
And that's cool.
Marvin Harrison played till 07.
Right, don't matter.
When people find out YouTube is a thing, it'll be a great day.
And when you and Donnie, that's cool, Donnie. That's cool, Donnie. But you know Marvin Harrison and Julio. You know Marvin Harrison and Julio played the same amount of years, right? Marvin Harrison and Julio played the same amount of years. Marvin's numbers cleared.
Oh God!
What's up, Norman? Y'all are being nasty with context because Marvin Harrison is playing with arguably the second best quarterback ever.
Did Jerry Rice say shit? Dude, did Jerry Rice say number 1? Dude, I don't want to hear nothing.
Jerry Rice played with Joe Montana and Steve Young.
I don't want to hear anything. So he's not number 1.
Number 1.
You said
Who's
Jerry
number 1,
Rice
Trent?
is number 1?
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss is my number 1 and forever stamp be my goal.
So then where's hold on, Trent? Hey, Trent. So then where does Jerry fall for you, Trent?
But here's the problem.
So Julio better than Jerry, right?
Time out.
Yes.
Julio better than Jerry, right?
Yes.
Time out. You're asking.
Yes.
Time out. You're asking me for
Needs to be real conversation about Jerry Rice.
But here's the problem, though. You're asking me for
a real conversation about what that you niggas should stop.
No, young, you can't say that. You can't say that. You did say once that Jerry Rice is the good receiver because his stats aren't insane.
And I was wrong for saying that. I came up.
Okay, all right. But here's the problem, though. You trying to ask me about criteria that's your criteria. You really want to be taxing Julio, but want to claim fucking Marvin Harrison. He's playing with them in the goal. So I don't do that. That's you. That's your body.
And that's why Trent says there has to be a median somewhere because we're not having the same conversation though. That's the thing.
Because it's just like how early. How old are you?
I'm 31.
You're what?
31, man.
You nigga using your draws and Marvin Harrison was still playing, so you can't do that shit.
And still watching him play. In your draws. First of all, I wasn't in my draws. I wasn't in my draws. Okay, I was old enough to watch him. Nigga, you were in somebody's nutsack.
Nigga, why are you acting like Marvin Harrison stopped playing at 2003? Like he didn't play 06, 07, 08, 09. Like he didn't play them.
Marvin's 1,700-yard season was no 2 though.
Okay, I watched the last bit of Marvin Harrison, and then I went back and watched the younger version.
But even here's go context though, Trent, because even in 2002 when Marvin Harrison had 1,700 yards, 143 catches, and 13 touchdowns, Peyton was 4,200 yards and 29 TDs and 17 picks. That wasn't like Peyton was amazing that year. Like
you be in the box. Stop.
Peyton was amazing. Peyton Manning was amazing.
So we can say Peyton is amazing. Why do we continue to uplift Julio Jones and shit on Matt Ryan like he wasn't a top 5 to 7 quarterback most of his time in the league?
Except for Trey.
You making this shit.
No one sits on Matt Ryan except for Trey.
You are literally. Bro, I'm not gonna lie.
Not you, young.
You are the one that's saying that. Nobody on this panel has been taxing quarterback play.
You've been the only person who's been doing that.
So then why are we taxing Marvin having the quarterback and not taxing Julio?
Bro, early. It's
No,
ironic.
he
So
if that's the case, Trent, then why is he not better than Julio?
You're not listening early. You literally have text. You literally said, "Oh, why
you start no bullshit."
Bro, he literally just said, "Oh, why are we acting like that?" Julio Jones played with an MVP quarterback. Marvin Harrison played with a 5-time MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what are you? How are you?
If it don't matter, then Marvin Harrison's because Marvin Harrison is the top 5. I think he's a top 5 to 10 route runner to me. I think he's top 5 hands. He's top 5 hands.
What? Niggas is lying. And this is
so what makes a guy have good hands for you? He just has to catch in traffic. He just has to catch in traffic.
This is where
you can't catch 143 balls in 1 year. That don't make him have good hands.
This is where I lean towards. You might just have a bad eye.
But this is the whole thing. If you want, I don't understand how you can put context on quarterback play. I don't understand how we can put context on how good your team is, but we refuse to put context on production. I don't understand how we do that. How can you say Marvin Harrison's getting all these numbers, great numbers, not taken away from him, and you don't put any context to him playing with Peyton Manning, Peyton Manning airing the ball out for a majority of his career?
But Reggie Wayne got the numbers too.
Exactly.
Look. But then we don't apply any context when we're talking about Jalen Hurts playing with a super team. We just say, "Oh, he's winning." Why do we do that? We don't know.
I said, don't tell you I'm consistent, Young. Here's what Trent don't tell you I'm consistent because I have Andre Johnson over Julio Jones, and Andre had nothing. And Andre had nothing. And Andre had nothing.
Just because you have a worse situation does not make you the better player. It's like saying this is better than Julio.
But if I produce more than you in a worse situation, that don't matter neither.
You said what?
If I produce more than you in a worse situation, that
he
don't matter.
only produced more touchdowns. Stop saying he just produced more. He
produced more yards too. He produced more yards too.
After peaking,
he produced more catches too.
He only had more touchdowns than
and catches. And yards.
Here's the thing, though, and that's why I say you a fucking Pro Football Reference merchant.
I'm not. I watched Andre play basketball.
Both. This is what me and Young be saying. Both of them have elite production. When you look at the 8 years of Julio, outside of Calvin Johnson, we almost went for 2K. You know who had the most yards in a single season outside of Calvin Johnson, outside of Cooper Kupp? Julio fucking Jones.
I'm about to say Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
you better say that name. You better say that name.
You know what I mean? He went 8 years straight for having 1,300 yards plus more. That's elite production. And then when you go to the skill set, you can't name a single thing without lying and saying that.
So Trent, Julio's 7 for you, right? I've heard you say he's 7, right?
He's like 7. Yeah, he's like 7.
So then why are those 6 guys over him?
You said because I think skill wise they edge him out a little bit. Oh, that's
so how did Jerry Rice edge out Julio Jones?
You said what? Nah, shit.
How did Jerry Rice edge out?
I ain't gonna lie.
I already told you.
Now hold on. I ain't gonna lie to you. I already told Young this. I already said I'm about to start backtracking what I be saying about Jerry, and I'm gonna start looking. I'm gonna start dropping him more. I already told Young that. Because skills wise, he's not the best.
So then, if that's the
y'all
case,
shut up with the skill set because y'all don't know when to apply that shit, bro. Because
if we're gonna keep
y'all dumb,
so then if we're gonna keep it, if we're gonna keep it a bean, then if we're going to do skill set shit, then we should only do 10-year blocks because 10 years everybody gets better. Like you can't that's nasty word. A nigga who played in 85 is not going to be skill set wise as good as a nigga in 2000.
Exactly. We are not talking about nobody.
But y'all are so.
But then it's fuck every old nigga, and there's gonna be times when y'all ain't gonna say fuck Julio Jones.
Hold on. So Mel. This is why I rock with Jerry is Billy Lee. Because, and literally, the only receiver in the 90s who has a case over somebody like Randy Moss is Jerry Rice. That's
from
it.
The 90s?
From the 90s. That's it. That's literally it. There's no receiver to me in the 80s outside of Jerry Rice because I count T.O.
Sterling Sharp didn't exist?
No. He's not.
Don't think niggas understand what Sterling Sharp was. Don't think understand what Sterling Sharp was.
He's not better than Randy Moss.
This is
no.
Okay.
Early. This is what I'm saying.
This is
outside
just
of
evolution.
Bro, literally. Bro.
Okay, I get what you're. All I'm saying is this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Sharp was elite.
You got.
I don't want to live in a world where just evolution is the only thing that makes it better.
Evolution is inevitable. It is what it is. Jerry Rice doesn't run routes like niggas run routes today.
Yes, he does.
He do. Yes, he does. No, he's the anomaly. Yes, he does.
He's
the anomaly. He's the anomaly. Yes, he does. He's the anomaly.
He does run routes better than a lot of dudes.
He does, and that's why I still hold him in high regard. That's why I still hold him in high regard.
But Jerry don't have the switch a lot of these new niggas got. Jerry don't have the switch a lot of these new niggas got.
But here's the thing: there's people.
Marvin Harrison has routes that could translate to now. It's just. It's not better than
But damn, Trey, the only nigga that I can say who's a old nigga, but he better than a lot of these new niggas is probably Barry Sanders then, because he shits on all you niggas that you love.
No, bro, see, wait, time out, pause.
Who he don't shit on?
Hold on, no.
Not on Eric.
He shits on AJ Peterson.
Time out.
No, running back hasn't changed that much though.
Thank you, Mud. That's what I was about to say. That's the main position. That's the main position where from the 90s to now. It ain't, feel me,
80s.
That much of a level gap. It's not wide receiver, quarterbacks. It is a gap between the time in the 80s and 90s of who the better receivers are compared to today. That's a fucking fact. That's not even an opinion. When you look at fucking name a regular pedestrian receiver in the 80s. Just give me one.
A regular Andre Rison.
Andre Rison.
He wasn't.
And I can give you.
I'll
give you Odell Beckham. Shitting on it.
Yeah,
shit on him.
He out of there.
Shit on him. And Odell's not even considered one of the best. I think like the wide receiver pool of who's better than each other from the 80s to now has gotten so much bigger. That's why I don't entertain.
Well, corner. Would that go for everything then? Corners, but I think because you niggas put Aaron Donald. I see a lot of you nasty niggas put Aaron Donald over LT, but he don't fuck with LT and he don't fuck with Reggie White.
Wait, hold on, time out.
Oh
my
God! No, but stop. But freeze.
Niggas don't know what Reggie White is.
Don't even.
How can I get as many sacks as you in a more run era and not be all right, bro?
You muted. Hold on.
One plays edge, one plays interior early. That's why.
Here's the thing.
Do you know 3 years of Reggie White's career he played interior and gave you 18
I'm talking about LT early.
He gave you 18 plus sacks.
I'm talking about LT early. I'm talking about LT.
You're talking about another position, like a defensive lineman. Again, the pool playing the defensive lineman has not gotten that much wider. It hasn't.
It has because when we're talking about what defensive linemen have to deal with,
I'm talking about the top dogs. You get what I'm saying? I'm not talking about.
What I'm going to say is this: for the most part, I'm just talking about majority wise. Defensive linemen don't have to deal with the offensive linemen that the niggas in the 80s and 90s had to deal with.
That was my point last week. I said that last week. That was my pushback on
like Washington's offensive line averaged 6'5", 360.
Even the schemes they were running are completely. It's a lot different.
Like
I said that last week.
And like the game itself has changed. The 250-pound middle linebacker doesn't exist.
I feel like that's another position that
you give me your best old lineman now, and he ain't fucking with what's my boy name that played for the Cowboys?
Larry Allen.
Larry Allen. You give me your best nigga, and Larry Allen get him out of here.
There's some positions that lean towards the 90s and the 2000s, but mainly what we're talking about here because we're talking about the skill positions of these niggas, bro. It's not close.
So Trent then.
Yes.
Okay. So what do you say to the guy? What do you say to the new age guy who gets 17 more, a game or two more, who has more passing now, that still can't fuck with the niggas from the 80s numbers?
Oh, but who are you talking about then?
And the rule changes.
Oh, no, stop time out. Who are you talking about? I need an example.
Again, I look at a Julio, right, and everything that he has.
Julio didn't have an extra game. When it's wrong, he didn't have an extra.
Okay, no, I'm just talking about in general. I look at Julio, right, and I look at he played in the passing era, played in the era where we went over the rules before. 08, 09, 010, a lot of those defensive receivers
it was the hits. Yes, it was the hits.
But it's a lot of other. It was like 3 different rules we looked at. That was new. That new age now. They didn't have to deal with. They didn't have to deal with that. That actually makes it easier for you when the defense can do less against you, right? Don't you think so?
So what does that have to do when I'm talking about when he's talking about these players being better than the other skill wise?
Right. So I ask the question then.
If it's just skill trait, then I promise you I have a whole different list.
Me and Young are talking about the skill set of the player.
Skill set. So then,
if it's just skill set, whole different ballgame.
Then if it's only skill set, then you can only talk about niggas in a 10-year block.
No, you can't. I can look at Deion Sanders, who played in the 90s, and I can see his skill set of the 90s transcends.
I can look at, and you know what's so funny?
But them the best of the best. Barry Sanders, Deion.
Only guys that can play like that are the transcending guys.
Darryl Green.
Darryl Green.
I can look at who Mel hates. I can look at Darrell Revis. He played today. He's strapping up 90% of the receivers still because his skill set as a player is crazy.
But I'm gonna take it. Let's take it because you mentioned Darryl Green, right?
Okay. A dog,
right?
5'8".
What the fuck a 5'8" cornerback gonna do today?
I don't want to get into it because, to be honest with you, Darryl Green had elite technique and was running 4.2. It doesn't matter.
Had a 45-inch vertical, nigga.
It doesn't matter how.
Had a 45-inch vertical.
If you cannot separate from him, it does not matter.
It don't matter.
If I'm 6'3", I'm going up getting the ball.
Trimmin Duffy
5'8".
Trimmin Duffy 5'9", 5'9" himself.
5'10". Those when you have elite technique and you are a press corner who cannot get beat deep, it doesn't. You have to be a route runner to beat them, or you have to be Calvin Johnson.
Even my man, even Dante Jackson, who used to play for us, he every bit of 5'8", 5'9", and now he played for the Steelers. He probably a better cover corner than fucking Joey Porter Jr.
Who? He is a better cover corner than Joey Porter Jr.
Dante Jackson.
And look, Chris Harris,
5'9", little boy.
Chris Harris was a dog.
How many teams?
Eric Flowers that played for Eric Flowers that played for the Chiefs in a 5-year span was a top 5 corner and was every bit of 5'9", and it wasn't fast as Darryl Green either.
And how many teams has he been on?
He been like what 3, 2, something like that. 2 teams.
Like 3.
Why can't he stay on the team?
What the?
Because he's not.
Hell.
He's good. He's not Darryl Green.
Okay,
but Mel, Deion went from place to place. Why are we doing that? What matter what team you stay with?
He ain't go.
Well, no, because my thing. If we're just gonna talk skill set, how tall was Deion? How tall was Deion Sanders?
6'1", 6'2".
Okay, that's about average. Right?
But
how many DBs?
I said early. Here's the thing, Mel, because you said from a 10-year block, I can watch Randy Moss and see him literally be a damn near 6'4" Tyreek Hill with one of the greatest hands I've ever seen. His play is timeless. I can see that. And he started off and he played in the late 90s. You can see that. Like you can see that.
So then why are you dropping Jerry Rice? Why is his not timeless?
Because no. Jerry Rice is I'm not dropping nigga out the top 10 or something. I might just drop him not dropping like 3, 4. That's right around that round. I'm not saying he's gonna drop in the top 5. He's not gonna be fucking top 10. That's what I'm saying. I already think.
Troy, how many skill sets does Jerry Rice have better than Julio?
Jerry Rice was a elite route runner. He was a elite yak player. He was
elite in the 80s and the 90s.
But his route running is why guys are running routes now. Those routes that Jerry Rice was running, guys are still running those routes now.
Okay, but again, how many things does he do better than Julio than Young?
Who's a better route runner?
I think he's a better yak player than Julio.
They created yak. They've created yak because
look at Trent's face a little bit.
No, the physical gift of it, he's not better than Julio. But as far as playing, Jerry Rice was a yak demon.
Yeah, he was. The runner 4.6, he was so good at getting out.
For the time that who's a better route runner, Cooper Kupp or Jerry Rice?
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice, easily.
Who's a better route runner, Chad Johnson or Jerry Rice?
Chad Johnson. Point blank period. Chad is the GOAT at route running. The only person that I even consider is Devontae Adams that's over Chad Johnson for routes. I still say it. So
it's those three. Tay, Chad.
So then if we break it down Jerry Rice's game, who does he remind you of in the new age?
So then where's Devontae Adams in your all-time receiver group?
He's top 10. Yeah. He in the back half though. He top 10.
He's not a better yak player than Jerry Rice though.
Devontae Adams to me is like 8, 9-ish.
So what does Julio do better than Devontae Adams?
No, I'm not gonna lie. He got better hands. He got better yak. The only thing you can say Tay really do better than him is routes for him.
But at that point, you can say that about a lot of people with Julio.
Do y'all do? But I asked him something, yeah, because I do believe that some of the better route runners can get open in the phone booth, right? You agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
One of the harder places to get open is within the goal line, right, and in the red zone, right? So you don't think it's a talent to be able to get touchdowns?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. You and this touchdowns shit, bro. That shit got stopped.
I'm asking questions straight down. I'm asking the question. Why you get? You know why you get so tight? Because if Julio had 100 touchdowns, he wouldn't get so tight. You get tight in the ass trick because Julio can't compete with them touchdowns. It bothers you. It bothers you.
Wait, I have a question. I have a question real quick. Do you think Julio not getting as many touchdowns is a lack of ability to separate in the red zone? Like, is that like a genuine belief that you hold? Or is that just like a gimmick?
Drop open touchdown passes.
You said what? Mill?
Said no. We've seen him drop open touchdown passes.
Yeah, okay. As long as you saw the film move, I saw it too.
He did?
Yeah, he did.
It wasn't that many, bro. It wasn't.
When exactly?
He's dropped a couple. I've not seen him drop
a couple, sure. Everybody drops a couple.
No, yeah.
Now we doing everybody. When I was
Does
talking
anyone
about
have any like? Does anyone have any like?
You're right, Donnie. Everybody just dropped a couple, but they still have a couple more touchdowns than Julio.
Bro, early. It's literally early. I'm sorry, but it's literally as simple as this. The reason why he doesn't have the many touchdowns is because of the fact that because of his unique specimen of how big he is and how good of an athlete he is, of course you're going to get bracketed. Of course you're going to have 3 guys sitting away when you're in the red zone. It's just that simple.
Hey, Donnie. So, Donnie, did Jerry Rice, I'm sorry, did Randy Moss not get bracketed in the red zone? Did Calvin Johnson not get bracketed in the red zone?
Have you seen the
Terrell
picture
Owens
of
not
that?
get bracketed in the red zone? Don't get me bracketed because there's other niggas who are bracketed in the red zone who still like, God, don't do that. Please don't
You
do
just
that.
named 2 guys. You just named 2 guys who are better than Julio. Randy and Calvin. You named 2 guys who are better than Julio. So I'm not going to defend that. Name someone else. Terrell
Owens.
Brandon Marshall. Yo, Mel.
Yo, Brandon.
Come on. Lock in. Come on.
Mel, they disrespect Brandon Marshall so much. It's nasty, dog. It's so nasty. Brandon Marshall is literally the nigga who could go on any team with any quarterback and produce godlike numbers.
But if we're talking talent for if I'm just going off for talent for talent.
If we're talking about skill set. Yes.
Talk to him, Mel.
So how does Brandon Marshall not come in? So how does Brandon Marshall not get in there?
Brandon not in the top 10.
Brandon Marshall doesn't run an ounce anything close to routes of Julio Jones. He's not anything.
You cannot say Brandon Marshall was a good.
If you think, hold on. If you think, that's what I be saying. Maybe you just got to bet it out.
You can say Julio runs it. No, but
if you watch the game of football and you seen Brandon Marshall run routes compared to Julio Jones and think they're comparable, I think you got a bad eye. That's crazy.
I don't think it's a gap the way y'all making it seem. That's what I'm saying.
But no, okay. So
y'all say clear.
So we'll take
some bounds.
So we'll take the route run. Okay, Julio runs better.
Get rid of it.
He has better hands.
Okay, he has better hands. He's got better hands.
Who? You lying, y'all? Hey, Mel. Do you agree, Mel? Do you agree, Mel? Do you agree, Mel?
Brandon, he's got Brandon Mark. He's got better hands than Brandon Marshall.
Do y'all think B-Marsh's yak ability and deep threat ability even close to Julio?
Have you ever seen? So first of all, let me say something about Brandon Marshall's yak ability. Brandon Marshall is elite at yak. Was always elite at yak. Go run the film up, Trent. It was nowhere near as fast as Julio.
I think it's close to Julio Jones.
I think it's close to Julio Jones. Yes.
You're a bot. Meat move. You are a bot. You need help.
Wait, I have a question for you guys.
There was so many plays with Brandon Marshall. Dog, he never went down off the first hit. Like damn near never. Mel, am I tripping, Mel?
Never.
And you think?
Yeah, I have a question for you guys.
Yo, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
They just like Julio Mel. They just like Julio.
I think put like this. I think Julio, if we're going to go talent for talent, Julio Jones and Brandon Marshall, they are very, very close. Now, if you like one more than the other, I'm not going to argue, but you're making it seem like that shit is not comparable.
Exactly. It's weird, bro.
Julio Jones is a night and day better route runner. He is a better yak player. And look, if you want to say Brandon Marshall has just as good as hands, if not better hands. Okay, Brandon Marshall has 10 hands for you. Julio has 9 hands, or vice versa.
All right, cool. Keep going.
The gap is so small. The gap in route running is night and day.
Night and day.
The yak.
Bro.
I think Julio is a better yak player. I don't think
it ain't night and day. It ain't night and day, Trent.
It's still, Julio is night and day.
So keep naming shit, young, because it's only three traits. Keep naming shit.
Okay, the deep credibility, the big playability, Julio Jones. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I have a.
There is no B-Marsh.
Those are the things that I evaluated.
Okay, so we're gonna talk. So we're gonna say that then.
So why are their numbers so close, Trent? I'm confused. Because Brandon Marshall, hold on, wait. Because Brandon Marshall was the guy, and no, I'm not talking about the stats, Trent. Brandon Marshall was the guy who went to teams that didn't have the.
I'm explaining to you because I'm not a bot like you. I can watch and see how people get different yards. Different receivers have different type of play styles. Point blank simple. The way Devontae Adams gets his 1,500 yards compared to Julio getting his 1,500 yards are going to be way different because they're 2 different type of players.
So then how can you? So then that freeze.
Tell him, Mel. Say what I'm gonna say, Mel. Say what I'm gonna say.
So then the way that you're trying to compare them, it doesn't work.
Exactly.
How?
Because you're going all biased, nigga. What you want to see? That's what it sounds like to me. I like the way Julio get his 1,600. I don't like the way Brandon Marshall got his 1,600. That's what you're doing, bro.
It's not biased. You know what? It's not biased because you can tell the difference between who's a better player between Dak Prescott throwing for 4,800 yards compared to Joe Burrow throwing for 4,800 yards. You can break down their games. What does this player do better than the other? You can do
have
that.
a question.
But you just said there are different types of wide receivers.
And how they get their yards.
No. Yes. Okay, hold on.
What you saying?
That's what I'm saying. Devontae Adams is a lot slower than Julio Jones in his route running. That's what makes Devontae Adams Devontae Adams. Julio has the routes, the speed, the big playability, and his hands are better than him. That's why he's the better player.
Okay. So then what does Brandon Marshall have? What does Brandon Marshall have to get his 1,500 yards? That he did several times in the field.
He was a big ass receiver who still had really good hands.
This is why I don't care for stats.
So he was just a big ass receiver with good hands.
And
Brandon Marshall was good.
For his size.
He was good.
What made
Brandon Marshall
DeAndre Hopkins?
Brandon Marshall was
if he didn't have his hands, he'd be terrible.
Elite hands, physical. He played to his strength.
Specimen, bro. Like
Alshon Jeffrey went. I think he went for a year with 1,500 yards. Like these big physical guys have a place in the league. It's not saying they don't.
So Trent, you love the wide receivers, right, Trent?
Just because a big receiver gets 1,500 yards, don't make them Julio Jones.
So Trent, what's the difference in size other than the 2 inches of height between Brandon Marshall and Julio? How many pounds do you think Brandon Marshall got on Julio?
No, it's not about pounds. The way Julio Jones moves as a route runner, how he moves, Brandon Marshall can't move like that because he's not that athlete.
Correct.
He's not like that. That's not him in his build. He can't do what Julio.
So then, Trent, it sounds like to me, Trent, you like the way it looks.
Do you watch football?
You like the way I do, Trent. You just like the way it looks.
Because Brandon Marshall can't.
I can be a fan of the way Brandon Marshall.
I'll make it a basketball way. Go ahead. Do you not tell the difference between how Anthony Edwards scored 28 again compared to Steph Curry's?
Yes, absolutely.
So why you can't tell an NFL way?
So hold on, but here's the difference between what you're saying, right? This is the difference, though. But I'm there. But then now it comes to a preference because you can say I like the way Steph gets 28, or I like the way Ant gets 28. But we're not going to say, because I like the way Steph get his, I'm gonna shit on Ant get his, or I like the way Ant get his, I'm gonna shit on the way Steph get his. That's what you do.
Hold on. Who's the way better shooter from an all-time perspective?
Steph Curry.
You see how you can separate
that's one. So he gets his off of. So you're saying Steph Curry gets his off of back screens and running around and shooting 3-ball and a handle that can get him to the cup from time to time. Where Ant get his in every different variety. He can shoot a 3. He can get to the cup. He can get the mid range.
When you talk about from an all-time perspective, you're going to look at who's the better scorer between Ant and Steph Curry. You're going to lean towards Steph Curry because Steph Curry is the GOAT shooter. When you compare Julio Jones and Brandon Marshall and what they both do on the field. You want to say B-Marsh is more physical than Julio? Cool. He kind of had to because he can't move like Julio. You want to say that their hands on the same type of tier? Cool, I guess. Fine.
But why do you say you
I'm not done? But when you start talking about route running, when you start talking about the big playability, when you want to start talking about deep threat, you want to talk about route running, it all links towards Julio Jones.
When you say big playability, you mean like deep threat and then yak, right?
Yes. Because Julio has the ability to take a slant, put a 10-yard slant, or a 5-yard slant, 80 yards. B-Marsh can't do that. He can't. Because he's not that type of.
But B-Marsh was known for taking a slant. He can take a slant 40 yards though.
Yeah, he may take it 30, might get caught. He don't have the Julio speed, and they're around the same build. That's what makes Julio so great. He moves like he's 6'1" and he's 6'4", 225.
Yeah, Julio was a freak.
I don't know how we don't understand the difference between that. And Norman, you can ask your question.
I've been trying to speak for the longest.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So, like, I don't even know why I joined, but I have a question for Mel and the guy that I haven't really talked to about like how they evaluate hands. Like, do focus and concentration drops matter to you guys? I know that's like my biggest critique of Julio's game is just.
I'm about to say that's Julio's.
Yeah.
Shit.
So let's go over Brandon Marshall's drop rates from his highest volume receiving years through his career real quick. In 2015. Well, yeah, because like
okay, so Mel,
you
can get excluded. It's really for early because he loved to use stats for Julio. So you want to do it?
No, like here's the thing, like I'm pretty sure you guys, unless I'm insane or something, drop rate is pretty indicative. It's pretty highly correlated with guys with concentration drops. Like Julio is like notorious for having like double digit years with.
What's Brandon Marshall?
So let's go through Brandon Marshall's drop rates year by year, okay? 2015, he 9.2, 11 drops. 2013, 15 drops, 13%. 2008, 13.3 drop percentage, 16 drops. 27 drops, 10.6%. And then he has 1, 2, 3, 4 other years with double-digit drop percentage. So if we want to use like the hands and we want to tax Julio for concentration drops, we gotta kind of do the same thing for B-Marsh. So
can I ask you something, Norman?
Yeah,
great stat to pull up, right? Do you think that a quarterback's ball placement can affect a person's drops?
Yeah, to a degree, yeah.
Do you think a quarterback's accuracy could affect a person's drops? Because even, this, Norman, I'm pretty sure you watch football. Even if you throw me a bad pass, I get my hands on it, that's considered a drop, right?
It can still be tracked as a drop.
No, not all the time. It depends, honestly.
A lot of times it does. Oh damn! I couldn't finish. We let Norman get that. Norman gave a great stat, guys.
Go ahead. Listen, what I'm saying. You're applying great context to a stat.
Yeah,
let's just always apply great context to everything.
Son of a bitch. Way to go, Young.
Go ahead.
Way to go, Young. Way to go, Young. I see why they call you Young. So I look at a guy like Brandon Marshall and his quarterback play, and I say that with someone as accurate as a Matt Ryan was, that could play. We talking about the Jay Cutlers. We're talking about the Matt Moores, the Ryan Fitzpatricks. I do believe that type of the Jake Plumbers in his early career. I do believe that those type of quarterbacks can literally be kind of it doesn't benefit you to have those type of quarterbacks throwing you the ball when it comes to your drop rate, because you can't definitively say that Brandon Marshall ever had a quarterback on the level of Matt Ryan, and there's plenty of receivers Trent noticed as an extra guy who caught the ball.
This is where you're inconsistent. This is where we had these arguments because I ain't got that much time, so we got to head out. This is why I say you're sad at what you're doing right now. Why don't you apply that same energy to Marvin Harrison versus Julio Jones? The same gap that you're talking about between like the Jay Cutlers of the world when he was playing with B-Marsh.
And you believe that Matt Ryan and Manning had the same.
Peyton Manning to Matt Ryan is levels. It's not even close.
Absolutely.
It's the same type of level.
Absolutely. But then this is where I'm nasty at. Then I start looking at who you were as a receiver, and if Julio is what y'all say he is, because y'all say he is amazing, then I do believe that You don't need you. I think your talent, as y'all say, because he's more talented than Marvin Harrison. I think that lowers the gap to where I don't think the difference between a Jay Cutler and a Matt Ryan is the same as a Peyton Manning and a Matt Ryan, including Julio's physical gifts. Did that make sense?
I also have another thing to add on to the route running segment with Julio versus B-Marsh.
All right, because we're about to head up.
Yeah, real quick. Julio is like infinitely better at attacking off coverage than Brandon Marshall, and it's not even like they're not even in the same stratosphere. Like Julio Jones, like was not only like just an absolute freak, but he was actually really good at setting up the top of his route, and like he creates so much separation just with setting up DB. Like Julio is one of the most technically refined route runners at that size we've ever seen.
He's one of I'm not gonna lie.
But I gave him the route running.
He was not attacking off. Like the thing is, that's what made it so hard. If you weren't gonna play poach technique on Julio or bracket him, it was so hard to guard him because you can't press him. You can't press him because he's the best press beater in football. And if you play off coverage, your corner's barbecue chicken. I don't think you can say the same about B-Marsh attacking any type of off coverage. Like,
unless, and we can get out of here, unless you're Josh Norman in 2015 and you strap him 2 times in 1 year. But other than that,
whoa, that's a lot.
Before we get
wrap it up. We gotta wrap it up.
Yeah. I just got to answer because Norman asked the question. I just want to. So based off the numbers, because you threw a lot of numbers out there, drop rates and all that other shit. So who would you say had the best hands in the NFL last year?
Last year? No, I'm just saying like hands is a very frisky
I know.
thing.
So who's got the best hands in the NFL last year?
Best hands in the league.
I think
probably there's like a bunch of guys you can say have the best hands.
Just give me one.
Please.
Like probably Jettis over the because I think 1 year samples are fluky. But I think overall I got Jettis.
No, if you're gonna sit here and just throw out random ass numbers about catch rate, because Jacoby Myers ain't drop a pass all fucking season.
He did multiple years though. Wait, hold on.
Oh yeah, but it's also about
but no, because what happens is somebody can have a really good year and not drop any passes. They can have a year where they drop a lot of passes, be in between. But as a wide receiver, that's what I played in college. That's what I played when I went pro. That's just what the fuck I do. When I watch a wide receiver play the position and I'm asking, what does his route running look like? What does his hands look like? It's technique. It's how he handles the ball.
Oh, that's nasty.
Facts.
Ooh, Norman stink, don't it? Let me
no, I mean, I was going to respond.
Wait though. But the thing is Norman's point to early.
Why you trying to put me in there?
Because I'm not gonna lie, he's been talking to you. He's not been talking to Mel. I think the point Norman was trying to say to early, talking about using the drops. He's talking about B-Marsh, he always talking about Julio's hands. There are multiple years where he has like 10 plus drops. If you want to do that, he's not using. I don't think he's using that in his argument for why he has who we think has the best hands in the league. Because I don't even do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that
because that's the hardest. You can't really gauge that because that's.
But I wasn't doing that. I was talking about what I see out of both of them.
Mel, you know me. I don't wait. Last before we head off, I don't weigh in the stats that much because, like I said, when we talk about all these guys, they all got crazy production. Between Randy Moss and T.O., they got production. Now, when we start leaning towards who's the better player, I think there's more separates. I.e., like Randy Moss got more than T.O. That's why I think
I do. I think Randy Moss has more stuff than T.O., so I believe that.
So that's why I think Randy Moss is better than him. Like,
right. And if we're gonna go talent for talent, you're 100. That's why I always ask, like, how are we gonna move forward with the conversation? If we're gonna go talent for talent, I'm here with you. We're gonna rock. I can go with that. If we're having an all-time conversation, you cannot exclude stats.
I don't. But here's the thing, though. Well, okay, I do, but it's like we already talking about guys that got crazy. I'm just never the type of person to be like, oh yeah, they got the receptions and the yards match up, but he got more touchdowns, so that's why I'm. I don't do that.
Ultimately, why nitpick the stats when you can nitpick the skill set?
Yeah, and I think the skill set is more important
because
there's so much. I can honestly say there's not one receiver that I've seen that is exactly alike to where I'm like, okay, I need to go to the stats. Everybody is different.
But what I asked Michael Irvin to do, I'm not asking Randy Moss to do.
Because he can't do it.
That's cool. Again,
no, it's because they're different. They have different skill sets.
But he can't.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
again, they have different skills. He can't do what Randy Moss does, though.
And Randy Moss can't do what Michael Irvin does.
In terms of what?
Physical?
In terms of what, though? And that's what, in terms of what? Yes, he can.
And then this is where I even get to a skill set. What is a more skillful thing? Being able to get in and out of breaks or just be born big?
So if that's the case, who's better? Deshaun Jackson or Randy Moss?
Randy Moss clears
Randy
Deshaun
Moss.
Jackson.
No, but I'm just basing it off of what he just said.
Yeah. The only
Deshaun
thing
Jackson, there's nothing that Deshaun Jackson does better.
That's not what you just said.
Let me finish. Physically, Deshaun Jackson does nothing
That's
better.
not what you said.
Skill set, also, there's nothing he does better.
But that's not what you just said.
Randy Moss at 6'4", being big, runs better routes than Deshaun Jackson. Randy Moss at 6'4" gets in and out of his breaks better than Deshaun Jackson. So not only is he physically gifted,
getting in and out of your breaks isn't the only thing that constitutes.
I mean, even getting in and out of your breaks are better. Randy Moss is obviously
no,
better.
I know. I'm just what I'm doing is I'm not saying Deshaun Jackson is better than Randy Moss. What I'm saying is what happens is if you're going to say small, if you're going to put everything in that small ass box that you did, I can find someone who does that better. We're talking about
what is the small box?
Who was a small boxing? I don't.
He just said. He said. You said getting in and out of their breaks. Deshaun Jackson does that better than Randy Moss.
I don't agree.
Well, hold on, but here's the thing, though. But the thing is, though, there are plenty of route runners better than Randy Moss, obviously. But when you start including the hands, when you start including,
that's what I'm saying is it's like if we're going to have conversation, because what happens is there are other guys who don't have the numbers that are physically nightmares.
You're cooking. I agree. You're cooking.
Like Stevie Johnson is a fucking nightmare.
He was route running was amazing.
Brandon Lloyd,
route runner ever.
Brandon Lloyd was a nightmare.
He was. Odell Beckham.
Right. That's why I asked about because I'll have a totally different conversation if we're talking about skill set.
Odell skill set.
But if you want to separate, I'm sorry.
I think Anquan Bolden was a nightmare too. I'm just saying.
He was.
But Mel, I think y'all are misunderstanding what I mean by I don't care about stats. The reason Odell is not in conversations with these all-time greats is because of stats. I can acknowledge that. When we're talking about Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, AB, all of them have stats. So why would I spend so much time harping on it?
Because someone's stats is better.
But just because somebody's stats is better don't make them the better player.
But that's what all time means.
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't, because this is the thing.
Really
do you think? Where do you think?
Okay.
Where do you?
I'm with you, Mel. You can't fight it.
No. Why would
we have non-biased criteria, dog? A non-biased criteria.
Young.
This is Mel, where do you rank Calvin Johnson? Where do you rank Calvin
doesn't
Johnson?
have Calvin in the top 10.
Remember, no, but where is he?
He's not in the top. I don't go past top 10.
He'll go past. So I can respect that. But here's the thing, though. Before we head out, I'm cool with Mel because Young, at least he stand on it. I disagree wholeheartedly. We can always disagree.
If you value those,
we got him in the top 4.
If you value the stats that much, all you need to do is go look at top receivers, receiving yards, touchdowns, receptions, and just list your top 10 off that.
And I would be cool, man.
That's all it should be. It should not be any more nuance to it.
Yeah, and then if you're gonna base it just off of skill, then there's a bunch of other niggas who've done absolutely nothing.
That's gonna be in that top 10. Thank you, Mel. It worked both ways for me.
No, Mel, you're talking about talent, not skill set. You're talking about talent, not skill set.
You're still missing.
No, skill set. There's guys with skill set who didn't have the yards or the numbers who are still demons.
No, you're still missing my point. All of these
guys
guys
who apply that talent,
about
we're not talking about
all
the
have production. They all have production.
We're talking about
I don't put Odell
with the production.
I don't put Odell in Randy Moss conversations because he doesn't have the production. I don't put Odell in Jerry Rice.
But you value skill set.
I don't. Again, when you are comparing these all-time greats, they all have production. Am I wrong or am I right?
Yes.
So why do I need to value it? As far as discussing just the all-time greats. When I'm discussing OBJ to Jerry Rice, yeah, production is a big thing because
So why the fuck is Calvin Johnson in there?
Because if you look at the all-time greats, most of them for 9 to 10 years were at their peak. We're at their peak. I don't care. When you're putting context to Frank Gore's stats, he is just getting empty yards at 3 carries. When you put context to Larry Fitzgerald's numbers at the end of his career, they weren't productive. They weren't even good. He's just racking up empty stats. That's context to it. Yes,
I can say
he's going to have more stats. He's going to have more stats.
So we're just going to shrink everybody to 6 years.
No, did I say 6 years? If you look at all of the all-time guys, most of them have 7 to 10 years.
That's what I'm asking you. So we're shrinking it to 6 years.
It's not a shrink. Most of the all-time guys have 7 to 10. If you don't have 7 to 10, you're probably not all-time.
So we're shrinking it to 7 years.
7 to 10 year window. All-time guys have that.
So
Odell
7 years. That's it. So
OBJ does not have
said
that.
7 to 10.
He said 7 to 10.
But the bar is 7, right? The bar is 7.
So why would Barry Sanders? Is Barry Sanders better than Frank Gore to you all time?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Why?
Because like I said, he's a better running back. He was
it's not like him saying. But okay. I see what you. Okay.
Young. Even when you say somebody like Larry Fitzgerald, right?
That Barry, because I got a bit.
When you say somebody
that Barry Sanders as a running back, absolutely is way better than Frank Gore. But when you look at the rushing yards, like
but Barry, how many rushing titles does Barry have?
He probably got a lot of them.
How many does Frank Gore have?
Probably not none of them. And that's why I think Frank Gore top 40.
How many receiving titles does Larry Fitzgerald have?
None.
How many does Julio have? How many does
Zero.
Julio got a couple too.
How many does AB have?
A couple.
When you say receiving titles, hey, Young, when you say receiving titles for Larry Fitzgerald, you mean yards?
Like, yes, who led the league in yards?
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but like I said, but you're talking about a 7 to 10 year window, correct?
Basically, bro. Okay, hold on. Eagle Nation, bro. Do you not understand Young is valuing the production, but he's not at the same time just because we're talking about players with all-time great production?
Yes.
I don't think there's a point to talk about who got more this and that numbers wise when they all still have great numbers. When there's more of a separator as a player. Does Aaron Rodgers and
but that's my
Aaron
point.
Rodgers and does Aaron Rodgers and John Elway, you want to say both have great numbers in their career? Cool.
But I'm saying, but how does the dude who's 30, what is Calvin Johnson, 36 all time in yards? How is he in that conversation with Randy Moss and T.O.?
Or Larry Fitzgerald?
Calvin Johnson.
Because they're at their peaks, their best.
Okay.
For
they got it. You got it.
So why isn't Antonio Brown in that conversation?
He is.
When I said this earlier, when I said Antonio Brown, y'all called me crazy.
No, we didn't.
They fought me on Antonio Brown. They was fighting me trying to prove a point. That's what it was.
Yeah, AB is in that conversation. People want to say Julio's in that conversation? Go ahead. I don't care. I don't think he's in the conversation with Randy Moss, but go ahead. You want to say he in the top 5? I don't care. Because I think he has an argument. You can argue AB. You can argue Julio. You can argue Larry. You can argue like all in the same tier. Now, once you start getting into the Steve Smiths of the world, the Chad Johnson world, pump your brakes.
But you just
not there yet.
Steve got a triple crown. Steve got a triple crown. That triple crown held for like 15 years.
That's cool. Strong, bro. He not in the combo, gang. I ain't gonna lie. Strong.
And he was 5'9". That's not easy.
Well,
to
a
do.
2 hour and 43
So
minutes.
the big receiver get credit for doing big nigga shit, but the little receiver don't get credit for.
Mel, that's what I mean, Mel. That's what I mean.
Steve Smith is top 15. They ain't 15 receivers better than Steve Smith. He a dog.
What? So then is Marvin Hurst top 15?
Yes. He's at 10 for me. He's at 10. I think there's 9 better than him. He's at 10. I just have a problem with saying that. Because here's the thing: if you want to say they're greater, fine. I don't care. Better, I get irritated when we use the word better. Who's the better player? That's we.
So better and greater are different.
Yes, and that's
okay.
And you got it. But for me, greatest.
So
if I say the greatest of all time,
I need to use greater next time.
Yes.
Also,
if you
Eagle.
want to say
Everybody doesn't. All the all-time greats.
All right, I'm glad we got a 2-hour and 45-minute stream to decide what's the difference between greater and better. I'm glad we finally got that out.
That's cap. I don't know why. That's cap. That's why people be saying T overrated because that's cap. But look, I know, chat. We didn't get to the RB tier list. We're gonna get to an episode.
We didn't get to anything.
We can just
didn't get to anything on my script. Like we didn't get to anything.
I'll come back. I'll come back.
If I say if y'all want to come back, y'all free to come back. Great time. Early. Appreciate y'all. Norman, appreciate you. Even though I'm
not free to come back.
Norman, you came at a heated time.
Early, you're always welcome, dog. Come on,
you're always
welcome, Early. Come on.
You don't appreciate Norman. You came at a really heated time because you was going back and forth crazy. Chat, we going.
Donnie, I know as a white producer,
we gonna start off.
I'm sorry we went off the rails, Donnie.
So,
I know.
Dude,
you white guys are secular for your rules.
Whole script, bro. I had a whole 5-page script.
So
we didn't do shit.
Look, chat. Look. So next episode, we're gonna start off the rip with the tier list. We're gonna start that off the rip. But like I said, appreciate y'all. We had like 100+ people in here. Make sure y'all keep tapping us. Follow all the socials. We gonna catch y'all. We out. That was a great episode. Appreciate y'all, and we out, man. Peace. Yes, sir.
Christ.
Yeah, that shit was.